Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. When you find yourself in need of attorney, you pay nothing unless they win your case, not a dime, unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com is the place to start. Shunnarah.com is where you start. They have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander Shunnarah's core values of integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Headquartered in Birmingham, they've got now 150 lawyers supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. And one thing Alex wanted to do was create a firm that can handle anything his community of Birmingham faced. He has done that. They handle not just personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
Hey, is the judge still alive?
No, he passed away last Monday. So there you go.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 83. Here we go. Look at Ryan Brown.
No, he really did.
I can't believe you just did this. I can't believe
this twice now.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends at Bud Light and Adams Beverage.
Did you watch Scooby-Doo when you were a kid?
I did. I've watched it as an adult. It's one of my favorite cartoons. Those dastardly kids. I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those dastardly kids.
And what happens leading up to that, right? They unmask him.
They always
Shaggy
do.
always pulled the mask off for Fred or Velma.
Yeah. Oh, it's the sheriff.
Yeah, wow. Or the Harlem Globetrotters will pull the mask off.
Yeah, it's not really a ghost. It was. It's the sheriff.
That's right. All along.
A lot of times it was the sheriff.
I'd have gotten away with it if not for you dastardly kids. Well, police in Tuscaloosa are looking for help identifying a burglar who was allegedly caught on camera stealing cash and coins, donning, and a plot twist, a Scooby-Doo costume.
We played poker with a guy that brings. They're called Scooby Snacks, actually. And
are these legal?
Yeah, but they're like graham crackers, I think. But they're called Scooby Snacks.
They're really good too, cinnamon flavored. Yeah.
Oh, I've had these.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Like I think EG. I think somebody brought them to EG.
Yeah, same guy.
Same guy. Okay, yeah.
Our buddy Spud. Yeah.
So Spud brought some to EG, and I ended up eating a lot of them because they are very addictive. I don't know why.
I agree with you. I like them very much.
Yeah. Well, here's a plot twist, Jim. Police in Tuscaloosa, I think I've already read this part. They're looking for someone stealing cash and coins wearing a Scooby-Doo costume. The bandit, wearing a mask and full-body Scooby-Doo suit, complete with a hood, reportedly broke into the Quick Stop service station on Highway 82 in Duncanville before dawn Tuesday.
Joinks!
In a post on Facebook, complete with surveillance photos, the Tuscaloosa police said the costume burglar broke in around 3:45, triggered a security alarm, stole cash and coins from the store, and he was gone by the time the officers arrived.
Jeepers.
Would have got away with it, too.
Meddling kids, by the way, not dastardly. Yes, meddling kids.
Yeah. So do you think he's less likely to get caught or more likely to get caught because he wore this costume? It conceals his identity, but there's got to be a lot of people that see this like, oh, I know who that is.
Well, I mean, at that point, though, he's walking in and he's drawing attention. First off, I would say this: you're to your point, Brownie. He's wore that somewhere before, and somebody knows that he owns a Scooby-Doo outfit.
Yeah, Tony owns that Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
I know he owns it. That looks like Tony.
And at 5'9", right now, Johnny Manziel is my prime suspect.
Manziel's taller than 5'9", isn't he? Manziel was he was stealing something else wearing that Scooby-Doo costume. It wasn't money.
Yeah, ruh-roh.
Hearts.
It was hearts, yes.
He did use at that party that night, would you do it for Scooby Snack?
Here's another plot twist. We got plot twists to start trash today. A loose chicken has been rescued from a Buffalo Wild Wings in Iowa. One trying to get away. Animal rescues called to a B-Dubs in Iowa to wrangle an unusual visitor, a live chicken.
Gonna need you to cook this one a little bit more.
The Animal Rescue League of Iowa shared a photo on social media showing a chicken at the front door of the BWW on Southeast 14th in Des Moines. What?
The BWW?
The B-Dubs. Actually, they call it, I don't know if you know this, but they call it BW3 in some places because it used to be Buffalo Wild Wings and Wicks, I think is a sandwich that they used to have called a Wick.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, but they shortened it to be Buffalo Wild Wings. B-Dubs, we'll call it. What the Clock officials wrote, talk about a chicken on the wrong side of the road. The poor confused hen was collected by an animal services officer and taken to safety, I guess. When I was in school at Jacksonville State, I had to take a summer class.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, a lot of fun ahead on a Friday show. That includes Tom Luginbill. He'll be in the next segment to talk recruiting and about our 40 and 40 team, Notre Dame. We'll talk about them in a moment as well. And the New York Times have out their best 100 movies of this quarter century. We'll save time to talk to Luginbill about that as well. Some of the best movies in the first 25 years. That's in the second segment. We'll get to Johni Broome and the NBA draft later in the show as well. Never a doubt that Broome was going to get drafted in the second round. It went early. You didn't have to wait. He goes and gets picked, and we'll talk about him, where he's going, his NBA future, and all the undrafted guys, including Mark Sears and others who now have their destination where they're going to try to play in the NBA. But we start with college football, as we do often, and it was a big day in recruiting for Auburn, but especially big for Alabama yesterday because they get a 5-star commitment down in the Mobile area, Jackson. And here's the way it looked when EJ Crowell was making his choice. An Auburn hat, a Georgia hat, a Texas hat, and he puts an Alabama hat on. 5-star guy, this video from WKRG Channel 5 down in Mobile as they had live coverage of the Crowell commitment. 5-star guy, one of the best recruits in the country, and he takes the selection of Alabama. And guys, this is the kind of recruit Kalen DeBoer was questioned whether he could get. First off, it's in the South, and secondly, it's in the state of Alabama where Hugh Freeze was making a point to sort of try to win Alabama all the time. Here's a 5-star guy that picks Alabama, a big one for the tie.
Yeah, Brown, I don't think DeBoer has had – I think the questions have already been answered in the short time he's been in Tuscaloosa on his ability to recruit. I think now the head-scratching thing for Alabama fans, and it's only been 1 year, and we'll see what year 2 brings, is how did he lose some of the games he lost last year? You know, when you lose to Oklahoma and you lose to Vanderbilt and you just get one of those games and you're in the college football playoff – so he's got the talent. I think he's an outstanding coach. There were moments he seemed a little, a little uncomfortable, a little out of his element, maybe a little overwhelmed last year. But, maybe that's just culture, going to that first really, really big program. I know Washington was big, but you guys know what I mean. So I think year 2, this is super important because I think the recruiting has been answered at least up until this point.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at just his current commitments. Alabama has got
2 5-stars already.
Yeah, 2 5-stars already. They're 8th at on 3, and the question was by a lot of people. I don't think the question was ever asked on this show except to say people are asking this question. Can this guy recruit in the South? Husky Harsin. Some people, Auburn fans called him. Auburn fans like to call him Husky Harsin. Can't recruit in the South. Can't recruit in the South. Well, his current signing class, or his current commitments, Marietta, Georgia, a 5-star.
That's in the South.
Jackson, Alabama, a 5-star.
That's in the South.
Gadsden, Alabama, a 4-star.
It's in state in the South.
4-star from Illinois, not South.
Southern Illinois? No.
4-star Gainesville, Georgia.
South.
4-star Omaha, Nebraska. 4-star Orange, California.
Yep.
4-star Atlanta, Georgia.
South.
4-star Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
South, in state.
And then his 3 stars are Indianapolis, Tampa, and Cincinnati.
Yep.
I mean, I gave you a lot of 4 and 5 stars there that was Southern guys.
Yeah, but do you guys really care? I mean, like, if you're an Alabama fan, at Dunaway, I mean, we'll go to you. As long as they're getting 4 and 5 stars, do you really care where they come from?
No. In 5 stars, I'll take. I don't care. You can be Mars, and it's a 5-star.
I mean, you could have a pipeline from Hawaii and 3 or 4 a year, and you take it.
I do not care if I'm a fan if my guy can recruit in the South, other than the fact that that's where the best recruits are. You see what I'm saying? It's like you could tell me he can go get 10 5-stars from California. That's great, but you need to recruit well in the South, whether you're the coach at Alabama or Ohio State or Washington, because all the best not all the best players, but the largest concentration of great players is in the southeastern United States. Everybody's trying to recruit down here. So everybody needs to be good recruiting here. It doesn't matter if you're the Alabama coach or not.
Yeah, but with a guy like EJ Crowell, and listen, I don't know if he grew up an Alabama fan or not, but I was watching Simone Sessions and the coverage there on her live stream waiting for the announcement, and they had the principal and the coach and the pastor and some family friends that were speaking it beforehand, and they were trying hard not to let the cat out of the bag. And, either the principal or the teacher, the lady was like, and whether you decide to go hook 'em or War Eagle or Go Dogs or my personal favorite, Roll Tide, and then somebody else was up there and say, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag where you're going, but I'm going to enjoy, cheering for you down the road.
Bryant Stadium.
Yeah. And so I do think if you grew up a fan of a school, that I like it when you go to that school, because I feel like you have that extra passion for that school. It's not just your hired mercenary, and it's a different world in college football. You go back and watch enough of the old games, you'd see most of the people were, from the state of Alabama or at least the South, and loved Alabama, or from Alabama or South Georgia or North Florida that were Auburn fans. It's not that regionalized anymore. It's a national recruiting base, especially in the SEC, so that doesn't bother me. Big get for Alabama, and they stacked on top of that with a 4-star tight end yesterday in Mack Sutter. I think he was the kid from Illinois that you mentioned, maybe, or Indiana or somewhere like that.
Yes.
4-star tight end as Mack makes the pick to come and play here. So here's a position. You watched DeBoer at Washington. Tight end is just an extension of that receiving passing game he loves to do. And here's a kid that is, according to On3, versatile, can do the blocking part of it all, but also as a receiving weapon.
Yeah, I think the tight end is so, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong on this, when you look in the NFL, when you look at great teams, one of the guys that moves the chains is really, those hybrid tight ends. I think they're so underutilized at the college level. Like, even the great Iowa tight ends that come out really never do anything at Iowa.
Those
right?
feel like pass blockers that happen to catch every now and then.
I mean, really, the guy that jumps out is Brock Bowers, but I just don't understand why you don't have more of these guys, because they're complete mismatches. It works at the next level. Why don't you utilize them more at the college level?
I tell you, the guy in the Saban era that seemed to be the best tight end Alabama ever had was O.J. Howard, and he would disappear for games at a time.
Outside of Ozzie Newsome, and I guess Ozzie was technically a tight end, right? I mean, he was kind of a...
I think he was a wide receiver at Alabama. But
he was a tight end in any other system except the one they played.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, like, if however you want to consider him, if he is considered the tight end, he's the greatest to do it in Alabama history. But the most talented is probably O.J. Howard.
Yeah, and there were games you're like, does O.J. Howard still play for Alabama? And then he would show up, and you'd be like, oh, my gosh, does he?
Well, it was almost like Jalen Milroe at tight end.
A little bit, yeah.
He didn't have the drops and the tips that led to interceptions.
When you would see him in those national championship games or playoff games against Clemson, you're like,
yeah, where is this guy?
Why don't they do that against LSU?
I know,
or Tennessee?
exactly. Yeah.
No, I mean, he really looked like, Brock Bowers in college. Well, Brock Bowers last year, and he looked like Travis Kelce in the NFL. I mean, when he was on and he was really involved in the game plan. But, maybe I didn't see that as much with DeBoer at Washington. But, maybe this is, something that's coming with this Ryan Grubb offense.
To get more on those recruits, there's a lot of coverage and breakdown of them over at Cover Crimson, covercrimson.com, Clinton Lamb and the folks over there. And then the same on the recruit that Auburn got yesterday at thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com. Zach Blackerby, I was watching him react to this, and his reaction was, okay, so a quarterback just fell out of the trees to Auburn. Pennsylvania guy who flipped from Penn State to Auburn. In-state Penn State flipped to Auburn. All right, Auburn. And I was watching Zach. He's like, yeah, Auburn was in on some other quarterbacks. This wasn't one I was expecting, but okay. 4-star quarterback Peyton Falzone flips from Penn State to Auburn yesterday. And watching Zach, this seemed to be a little bit of a surprise. But I get a lot of these national newsletters emailed to me every morning, like from Yahoo and the other ones that I can't name right now for some reason. The Athletic.
Katie Kirk?
Yeah. The one of the recruits that was mentioned yesterday, there was a big one that went to another school, I think Notre Dame, was this kid, the Falzone kid. Crowell didn't even make it into the national newsletter feed. I think it was at Yahoo maybe. But Falzone did, that he flipped from in-state, Penn State to Auburn. So if he ends up sticking and signing in December, maybe the future at quarterback for Hugh Freeze.
I would say this kid probably looked at Penn State, and the quarterbacks from Christian Hackberg to Sean Clifford, I think Drew Aller has a lot of potential. We'll see how good he's going to be this year. But you guys got to give me, since Trace McSorley, they really haven't had a legitimate quarterback. Aller is the closest thing they've had. And, I don't know about you, but I really wouldn't want to go play quarterback for James Franklin.
I mean, it seems like a place quarterbacks go to die. I don't disagree with you. I mean, Aller may change that this year in the NFL draft, but...
Of course, as soon as we say that, when's the last time Auburn's had a really good quarterback? Cam Newton? I mean, Nick Marshall was good.
Not NFL good. I mean, not like you're talking about a place I can go develop a play at the next level, and that was never going to be Nick Marshall at quarterback. Yeah, Cam Newton in those terms. I mean, Jarrett Stidham, I would say, did you say good or really good?
Stidham and Drew Aller.
Yeah, they're a lot alike, aren't they?
I mean, the expectation for Aller this year is through the roof.
Well, it is now.
I would just think production-wise, that's about right.
Yeah, I mean, Stidham had his moments, but yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there. I mean, it's weird because it seems like there wasn't any chatter about this.
Oh, that's right. And Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Right.
6'5" kid, looks like a Penn State quarterback.
Yeah.
But could it happen in today's NIL where you've targeted the guy, you like him, maybe he's visited once, you've had some communication with him, and you get to a point like we've got to have a quarterback. Well, we hear through the grapevine that number is $4 million, where you just call up and you're like, hey, we've got the $4 million, come to Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, boy, it's why you're using that on this guy, though, would be the question to me. I mean, a 4-star out of Pennsylvania, what did you like about this guy where you're like, in June, we're going to flex our NIL muscle and steal this guy from Penn State. Yeah. It would seem like if you've got that kind of money where you could go take a quarterback from somewhere else, you probably don't do it in June. And I'm not sure it's this kid. That sounds like I'm dogging this kid out. I'm not. I'm just saying, in your example, $4 million, I'm not sure that's what you spend the $4 million on.
Yeah, but for there to be no buzz around Auburn with this guy, and this guy to completely flip last second from Penn State.
Yeah.
Something had to be there.
He's been committed to Penn State since April, makes the flip to Auburn yesterday. So that's a little recruiting news, big in the state. A 4-star quarterback at Auburn, 4-star tight end, and a 5-star running back at Alabama. Crowell kid, 5'11", 205, known for speed and power in the on-3 sports. He'll be able to he reclassified, by the way. He's supposed to this is supposed to be his junior year at Jackson High School. He's going to play his senior year and then make the jump to Tuscaloosa. So a big day recruiting there. We'll talk more recruiting, more insight on these guys with Luginbill coming up. Before we get to our 40 and 40 today, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friend Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, Brownie.
You never pay a dime unless they win your case with Shunnarah. Shunnarah.com is the website. Shunnarah.com when you find yourself in need of an attorney. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Now, look, Alexander Shunnarah is a Birmingham guy, and one of his goals in life, one of his missions was to create a firm that could handle any issue his community faced. They now handle not only personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. They have recovered more than $2 billion for their clients. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
Hey, and our friends at Champions Boxing, if you're looking for a unique workout that is different from just going to the weight room, throwing up the barbells, our friends at Champions Boxing could be absolutely perfect for you. All ages, starting at 9 years old. You got a kid around the house trying to figure out something to do, a little direction. They want to get in shape. team and family oriented that helps in teaching discipline and fundamentals. Located in Pelham, right behind the Purple Onion. On Instagram, you get more information at Champions Boxing AL. On Facebook, at Champions Boxing AL as well. 8 USA boxing certified coaches, not only in boxing, strength and conditioning as well. Coaches have experience in the amateur, professional, and Olympic levels, and they are the official sports boxing coordinator for the 2025 World Police and Fire Games held in Birmingham next month. Stop in, see them, go see Akash, Mailman, Jake, all the guys, and tell them the guys from the next round sent you.
And they bring you our 40 and 40 every day, one team, every show, all the way up to SEC Media Days. We got in at number 9, LSU. They were the first team to get a first-place vote yesterday. That was from me. We got another team first place vote, making a little history in the poll today. Coming in at number 8, here's the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And here's the inside out on what we did with our fan poll here. They are the first team to appear on every voter's ballot. So everybody had them ranked. The lowest they were ranked on the ballot was 14th. So everybody had them in their top 14. Rosie Langelo, WSFA Montgomery, had them 14. Our buddy Josh Sisk of the Pennant Grace had them 13th. One person had them number 1. That was Cole Johnson voter. So one first-place vote. Cole Johnson has them winning the national championship. On the show.
Is he Catholic?
I don't know. On the show, I had him second, losing the national championship game to LSU.
Wow.
Ryan had him third.
That's right.
And LT had him 5. Taylor Korn had him 6, and Forrester, who's on vacation, had him 7th. So we all had them making the playoffs today. My first question to you is, how do you replace quarterback and be a college football playoff lock? Everyone seems to be saying this team is a lock to be back in the playoffs.
More than likely, redshirt freshman C.J. Carr seems like the guy that they're going to develop at the quarterback position. Look, they've gotten better. I would have told you that Sam Hartman would be a better option than Riley Leonard, both transfer portal quarterbacks coming from the ACC. But Riley Leonard had a hell of a year last year. They were 22-4 over the last couple of years with transfer portal guys. This is a different Notre Dame team. When you look at Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, and you look at Jaden Greathouse on the perimeter and Jordan Faison on the perimeter, they have got great skill. And the offensive lines have been steady Eddie for the last few years. They've got the best odds right now in Vegas to go undefeated. They're plus 400 to go undefeated. But you start to look at the schedule, they're going to be favored in every game more than likely. But they got a lot of like coin flip games.
They do, but I could make the case, Lance, with this schedule that they don't face a ranked team after their second game. Now, that depends on what you think USC is going to do, probably.
I think they're going to have a good year. So
okay, so USC will be ranked.
Well, Boise's going to be ranked.
Maybe.
Boise will be ranked.
Now, who does Boise have early?
Well, I mean, they're going to come in ranked, so like unless they lose.
Where do you think they'll come in ranked?
I think they will come in 15-20.
Okay.
Just based on last year.
Yeah.
People are going to think they're going to be down a little bit because, you lose one of the best running backs in college football history.
But to your point on the schedule, at Miami is a fascinating game to start the year for both teams, really. Breaking in a new quarterback in that environment. It's going to be a charged-up environment Sunday night before Labor Day. Down at Hard Rock Stadium.
Can't wait.
The bright lights of national TV on that standalone game. I mean, that's a big spot to break in a quarterback.
Coaching mismatch, though, right?
I feel like Notre Dame has the coaching edge there. There's no doubt.
If the game was in College Station, much like it was last year, then, I could see this. I'm telling you, I think their first trip up, and maybe their only trip up of the year, is in Fayetteville. That's just going to be one of those special moments. I think Arkansas fans will come to play that day.
Yesterday on the show, we did 15 big SEC games that could sort of, that they need to win, like what Klatt told us. And then I threw some to get to 15.
Oh, this would be a flex for the SEC.
That could be an SEC flex. Yeah. And that was one of them, Notre Dame and Arkansas. And
why is it 11 a.m.?
I don't know, but that's where it is, 11 a.m. ABC, and I picked it.
But we said, I did too. We said,
did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels like Arkansas. Well, I went back to the Texas game. That time Texas rolled in. They were the better team. And you're just like, It just feels like that's the time Arkansas will play its best.
Arkansas is going to have this. I wish it was a primetime game because that would be one of those sneaky off-the-radar games nobody's really talking about. Arkansas is going to have the speed to play with them. They're going to have, obviously, home field advantage, and I think they're going to have the better quarterback at least early on in Taylor Green.
The reason it's not primetime is Bama and Georgia's that day, so you're not going to bump Bama, Georgia for Arkansas, Notre Dame. So that's your what's your midday game there? That's a heck of a lineup already. I'll see if I can find the midday game.
Is that week 5?
Yeah, week 5, Saturday, September 27th, because your early game is Arkansas and Arkansas playing host to Notre Dame. Your late game is Alabama at Georgia.
Is that Florida, Tennessee?
No, Florida, Tennessee's late in the year this year for some reason. Yeah. I'll look it up, though.
So Arkansas, before that, they've got to go 2 Ole Miss and 2 Memphis. Hard to believe they win both of those, but if they happen to be 4-0 hosting Notre Dame, watch out. Boy, Arkansas' schedule is brutal.
Arkansas is brutal.
It really is.
I put Arkansas Memphis on that list yesterday and picked Memphis to beat Arkansas.
Yeah, I could see that. But, after the Notre Dame game, Arkansas's got to go to Tennessee. They've got A&M and Auburn and Mississippi State coming in. They got to go to LSU, to Texas.
Yeah. Arkansas, not our number 8 team. It's Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love is a stud, right?
Maybe best skill that Notre Dame has ever, in my lifetime, that I can remember altogether. Now, if you want to go back to some of these 80s teams with, Rocket Ismail and in the early 90s with Jerome Bettis. But, man, when you look at the collection of Greathouse and Faison and both running backs are NFL guys. Jeremiah Love is considered the best running back in football. And then we saw him get spelled by Price last year, and that guy is physical. They've got everything. They really do.
Greathouse at receiver. He's got skill there. Their defensive line is really good. I like this Notre Dame team, but they're replacing a lot. But it just tells you Marcus Freeman going into his 4th season, how good he's recruited there at Notre Dame. They come sliding in at number 8 today, and they are a team that will be back in the playoffs, according to us.
I know we brought this up in different ways, but you think if you asked college football fans, writers, just people that cover it, everybody involved in college football, list your top 5 favorite coaches in college football, how many would have Marcus Freeman on their list? And the reason I bring this up is because, and we've talked about it before, their coaches in past history are unlikable guys.
Or you just don't care. They're either unlikable or you really just don't care.
I think I might have Marcus Freeman at number 1.
As far as college football?
As far as likable, charismatic guys, I would want my kid to go play for.
For whatever reason, he's won a lot of fans over. It's his approach. I think he just looks like a
Would you have him on a top 5 list?
Oh, yeah. I like Marcus
you would,
Freeman.
Absolutely.
It's the first Notre Dame coach in my life I've had a strong feeling about, and that strong feeling be like. Every other Notre Dame coach I've either disliked or they just don't even register enough for me to care about. And he's the first one that has registered and I like.
Is he a lifer there?
Some people have thought maybe NFL for him. I don't know.
I mean, if I've got a $40 million collective.
Yeah. His alma mater is Ohio State. What can you do at Ohio State you can't do at Notre Dame?
Well, win national championships until now. I mean, they played in the game last year. This feels so different than what Brian Kelly had.
Yeah. Can I put a real quick bow on that TV day?
Absolutely.
Because the reason we didn't know what the 2:30 game was is it hasn't been announced yet. But one of the ones that has been reserved is LSU at Ole Miss. So imagine if that's your day. You start with Notre Dame at Arkansas, LSU at Ole Miss, Alabama at Georgia, and also primetime that night. Opposite Alabama and Georgia is the Penn State Oregon game in Happy Valley on NBC.
Let's move that to Austin and play it at 9:30.
What a night of football! I mean, what a day of football that is. Arkansas hosting Notre Dame, LSU hosting Ole Miss, or LSU at Ole Miss, and then Alabama Georgia.
If that game was at Oregon at 9:30, would it be the best quadruple header we've had?
It'd be hard to beat that one. I could stay up till 12:30, 1 o'clock watching great games. Yeah, that'd be tough to beat.
You saw the Notre Dame schedule there briefly. They're our team at number 8 today in our 40 and 40 countdown, brought to you by our friends at Champions. Before we do one more college football game and then college football subject and then talk to Tom Luginbill, LT wants to tell you about our great friends at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, just an outstanding place. What was questioning the other night? I didn't get this.
The question was, which came first, Whoopi Goldberg or the first ever diet soda?
Oh, wow. Whoopi Goldberg's got to be in her 70s now. I would say every bit of 73 years old.
What was the first diet soda?
Born in 1952. I'm going to go Whoopi Goldberg on the fly. The first diet soda, I'm going to say Diet Pepsi or Tab, and that's going to be in 55. So I'd say Whoopi Goldberg came first.
So there was actually a ginger ale diet soda that was first to market, and it was 1952. Whoopi was 1955. The first name brand diet soda was Diet Right, which was a RC Cola product.
Okay.
1958 for that.
I see Melton was back there just watching me try to process that. Almost impressed if I would have gotten the numbers right, right?
The computer.
Absolutely.
But Odie's Tavern, great place to go have lunch, dinner, watch some Major League Baseball action. The food from Rodney Davis for almost 40 years now. The award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, like the Diablo sandwich. It is Friday. Knock off work early. Get some of those ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, the Odie's famous styrofoam cups as well. 2 locations, the original in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Get in and see Will Avery and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
I was talking to Tyler the other day on the show when we were talking soccer, and I said, I remember we were talking Messi and Pele when we were talking about the greatest soccer player of all time. And I brought up, I remembered ESPN, the magazine, they had the group that was next, the next great athletes. And I remember when Messi was a teenager, he was in that group of next. And it was a big...
Was Freddie Adu in it?
I think Freddie Adu was.
Yeah.
He was like the great American hope.
It was a whole magazine.
We can't get that right, by the way.
About what was next. And boom, it was, Messi was in there, and there's a bunch of different sports, different athletes. And Messi panned out. Well, I didn't know this, but Men's Health does 25 Gen Z athletes that will define the next decade. And on the cover of Men's Health yesterday,
Arch Manning?
No, but
Believe it or not,
it's a college quarterback. Keelon Russell from Alabama, Men's Health magazine, the future of sports. 25, it's Keelon Russell and 24 other Gen Z alpha athletes.
Okay, I was going to say, do you think he's the first ever non-starting quarterback on the cover of Men's Health? But I believe he's probably the first ever quarterback on the cover of Men's Health.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know any of that, but I know about Keelon Russell here in this story. To your point, may not be the starter all year long, and he's the next generation for the next decade of athletes. AJ Debata, the big guy who went to BYU, is one of those 25 guys.
It's weird you bring this guy up because I was thinking about him this morning in this regard. Like, I think Ty Simpson's going to have a good year.
Okay.
And I think Alabama's going to be really good, and I think they're going to a college football playoff. But then I think Russell is going to be in that Bryce Young mode. We talked about this last week when Dunaway was out. Dunaway, you remember back in the old Jocks days, you and I believe Bryce Young was going to start as a freshman. Brown was like, Mac Jones is going to be the guy.
Yep.
Mac Jones has an incredible year. I don't think Simpson has that type of year, but I think he has a Mac Jones-like where you kind of forget that Russell's there. But then I think Russell comes in next year, tears it up for 2 years, and goes to the NFL.
I could see that happening. Yeah. Keelon Russell in the magazine, couple of things from the story. What have you sacrificed? And I think Alabama fans will like this. He says, quote, I remember I was on concussion protocol one week. I said, screw that. Went out and threw 5 touchdowns. I'd sacrifice everything to help my team win. It's a dedication thing to where you got to be dedicated to do this every single day, every hour of every day. They talk about his workout regimen.
I bet his high school coach is like,
I know.
Let's dial that back there.
The things you can get away now with in high school.
Dial that on back there, buddy.
He says he spends 30 hours a week on football, 10 of that on the field, and then the other 20 in the gym and in the film room. And he talks about trying to model his film work after what Tom Brady was known for doing.
If you had that physique, would you go shirtless on the show?
I would,
all the time.
100%, yeah.
Hey, let's get to Tom Luginbill on the other side to talk about some of this recruiting and Notre Dame and other stuff. New Life Art brings you part of the show today. New Life Art, great folks there that give you all the great DanielMooreArt.com paintings. One of the great Notre Dame Alabama games played here in Birmingham is one Daniel Moore Art work. It's the sack with Cornelius Bennett laying out. Who is the quarterback?
Steve Berline.
Steve Berline. You can go see the great works there at DanielMooreArt.com. Promo code TNR. We're back in a moment right here on the next round.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and Bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
On our way to talk to Tom Luginbill right after Brownie tells us about the great folks at JohnstonRVCenter.com. You know, Luginbill's the kind of guy that can hop in an RV and enjoy America.
You kidding me? I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV Center. They got a price range for just about everybody with approved credit as low as $127 a month at Johnston RV. You can see them right there from the tow behinds, the fifth wheels, the toy haulers, all the way up to those big motor homes at Johnston RV Center, and they cover everything with a lifetime warranty. From RV Warranty Forever on anything new or qualifying pre-owned, they have got an amazing discount for all of our service members, whether active duty or our veterans. JohnstonRVCenter.com. Tom Luginbill, ESPN, joins us now on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. What do you say, Luke? What's going on?
Good morning, guys. How's your week going so far?
Pretty good. I'm almost done with it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I just wrapped up the UFL season. I jump down to the lake with my wife. My son gets a little break from his summer workouts. He's going to be coming down. My daughter's going to be coming down. It's good to actually experience a little bit of the summer.
So we love to talk entertainment, which we will get to. You and I were texting back and forth on a couple of shows last night. But Luginbill, we were talking Notre Dame, 14-2 last year. A lot of different directions to go here. Let's start with the quarterback position, because the last 2 years, 22 wins between Riley Leonard and Sam Hartman. Now they're going to go internal. They're going to develop this quarterback. Hearing great things about CJ Carr. Do you expect CJ Carr to be the guy? And if so, how good can this kid be?
Yeah, I expect him to probably be the guy. He was a top 5 player for us at the position coming out of high school. Really liked him. I love the fact that he wasn't thrown to the wolves, that he got to sit and watch and learn and mature and develop, and I think he's going to be better for it. Now, let's not forget, he's going to be stepping into a situation where if he can manage his decision-making process and get the ball where it needs to be, they're so talented around him that he's walking into a situation where he doesn't have to play above and beyond in order for them to have a chance. I mean, Will Pauling comes over from Wisconsin. Malachi Fields comes over from Virginia, who I think is one of the most least talked about high-profile transfer portal additions for Notre Dame. I think the offensive line may be the best in the country, at least in the top 2 or 3. 2 of those guys are their youngest players, too, and Anthony Knapp, left tackle, leading that charge. And then the running back room is absolutely loaded. So he's got to walk in and get the ball to the right spots, get him out of a bad play into the right play. But he doesn't have to be a superhero. I think he's really talented. And again, the fact that he hasn't had to play right away and develop and learn and grow, I think it's going to end up in the end being a positive for him.
How talented is this Notre Dame running back room compared to others around the country? It seems to be their calling card.
Yeah, I think it's up there, if not the best, top to bottom overall, even with some of their younger guys, but obviously headlined by Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. I think those 2 guys, from a 1-2 punch standpoint, you're kind of getting another version of what did we see with, Trent Richardson and Mark Ingram, that type of high-level performance where one guy goes off the field, the next guy comes on, there's no drop-off in talent, there's no drop-off in production. To me, and that's college football now. I don't think anybody can just weather the storm with a feature guy and then plug and play a guy here and there to spell him, but now all of a sudden the guy that goes on the field isn't a difference maker and the defense isn't worried about him. That's not the situation with Notre Dame. By the way, Jim, it's good to see you. The last couple of times I've been on, you've been absent.
Wow. Yeah, a little vacation maybe, a little under
I
the
don't
weather.
know. This was,
I can't remember.
Last couple of months, I just figured you were avoiding the Luginbill hit.
Yeah, a little bit. I get enough of you during football season. I tried to watch you on the UFL coverage, but they just let the guy on the other sideline do all the interviews.
Wow.
You were on that day. You were on the Stallion sidelines, and for some reason they were letting the other guy call all the plays. I complained on the show. I was like, trying to watch the game, and they got Acho over there letting the guy for 7 plays tell me what the play is going to be. And I'm like, how come we're not doing this with Luginbill on the other sideline? Give
I did plenty of it, I promise.
Give Luginbill some airtime, man.
ESPN's Tom Luginbill is on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. What makes Marcus Freeman? And, it's funny the way we talk about the guy, because I can go back to that Northern Illinois loss, and we were not talking about him this way. But boy, he changed the opinion of a lot of people as the season went on. Why do you think people respect him as much as they seem to?
Because I think that the reason that team didn't crash and burn is because he's developed character. And in the era of the transfer portal mindset and the transactional nature of the sport, they have not dealt with a lot of that. Guys, I don't know if you've taken the time to do it, but go look at their 2 deep and look at how many redshirt seniors and redshirt juniors are on that team. That doesn't happen in college football anymore. Like, it's hard to be an old football team. And what that tells me is, number one, their guys want to stay around there. They believe in the culture, and that from an NIL perspective, they've chosen to reinvest in their own guys. Yeah, they might have 2 or 3 guys that they're going to bring in. They might lose a couple of guys here and there, but that's a high school-based recruiting-based program that's been able to maintain some semblance of stability, where others, as we see each and every day of the calendar year, it's 30 guys out the door, 40 guys out the door, a whole new batch of people. I think that's one of the reasons why he's been able to maintain such stability in terms of leadership and culture and chemistry, because he doesn't have a revolving door. And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
This seems like a wide open year going into the season on who's going to win the national championship, obviously the Heisman. But if you ask around, the majority of people, if you're going to get one solid answer, it's Texas, it's Arch Manning. I had an unpopular opinion a few weeks ago. If Arch was this good, why was he not playing over Quinn Ewers? Then Aaron Murray had it. Now Steve Spurrier's had it. Where are you on Arch Manning? You watch this guy play in high school. I like Quinn Ewers a lot, but if this guy is going to be the next great Manning, why wasn't he on the field more?
Well, I think there are very few instances that you can point to where a true freshman, regardless of who it is, or a coaching staff is going to say, let's just play this guy over this other guy who started 2 years for us, right? It doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't happen. It doesn't mean that Arch Manning couldn't have been every bit as productive as Quinn Ewers. I just think that the experience counts for something. And I've said this to you guys before, and I firmly believe this. The blueprint that Steve Sarkisian and that family laid out for Arch Manning to have long-term success is nothing short of brilliant, because they avoided him being thrown to the wolves. They avoided him being ill-prepared, avoided him having to deal with unrealistic expectations, and they built for the future. They built for the long haul, and I think you're going to see a much better player as a result of it. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. Obviously, we've seen that he's such a more dynamic athlete than any of the relatives are, which changes the game for him because he can do things with his legs. And I think he's going to be a great player. I think potentially he could be an elite player. Do I think that he would have been as best served to just go in there and play right away? No, I don't. I think it would have been really, really hard on him and probably in many instances unfair. But this path that they took, I think, sets him up for tremendous success.
All right, so yesterday Alabama and Kalen DeBoer got a couple of big recruits. One of them an in-state guy, 5-star running back EJ Crowell. They got a couple of 5-star guys now. What do you see from EJ? What kind of running back is he? I know services had him 5-star, 4-star. Some had him higher than the others. What do you see in the guy from Jackson, Alabama?
Yeah, he's our third-ranked running back in this class. He's very reminiscent of Nick Chubb. About 5'10", 5'11", but all of 210 pounds. We've had him a couple of times in our Under Armour camp series. Tests really, really well. But you turn on the tape, and he's got power. He's got forward lean, contact balance, all of the things that you want to have, particularly if you're going to try to develop some interior toughness in your run game. There's a little bit of a battering ram style there with him. So, this class for Alabama, it's interesting as I continue to look day to day at classes, and what you're seeing is fewer and fewer numbers, guys, at the high school level with every one of these programs out there, because they're all sitting back on the portal, right? They're really limiting and being very selective and very careful. And, I look at a class like Alabama, 12 verbal commitments. I'd say the top half of the class is exactly what you expect it to be. Top 5 overall positional players, top 3 overall positional players, top 10 overall positional players. And then I think the back half of the class are more program type guys that you're hoping to develop and grow and mature. But you're starting to see a trend with these teams now where they're not going. It's not like it was 5 years ago where we'd be sitting here in almost July and almost everybody that was any good in college football had 20 verbal commitments. You're going to see some of that, but you're not seeing that at the rate we saw it before, and Alabama is no different.
Okay, before I ask you this Alabama question, New York Butcher Shop. I see you're at the lake there, Luginbill. Are you on a lake in North Carolina?
No, I'm on Lake Hartwell, right on the border of Georgia and South Carolina, right off I-85 as you're heading up north from Atlanta, and I'm on the Georgia side.
Beverage of choice today when you're on the lake?
Probably a light beer, maybe a mixture of have you ever had a summer beer? It's lemonade, vodka, and a light beer mixed together over ice.
Doesn't seem light.
Give him your drink, Dunaway. Give him your mix.
I'm drinking a Spanish drink right now. It is red wine and a European lemon lime cola.
50, is that over ice?
Yeah, over ice, 50-50 split.
He wears a fedora while he drinks it, too.
Yeah, and I smoke
I'm sure he does.
And
then, of course, as the sun begins to set, it becomes bourbon 30, of course.
Yes. Anyway, the reason I asked, New York Butcher Shop, I know you're going to be grilling out when you're at the lake. Whether you're heading to the lake, the beach, you're just having people over this weekend by the pool, pick up some New York Butcher Shop, the great steaks, the ribs, the chicken, the incredible made in-house sides, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Go see Jim and the fine folks. It's the New York Butcher Shop. If I told you come January, Ty Simpson is the first or second all-SEC quarterback, would that shock you?
It wouldn't shock me off performance. I think it may be difficult to do because of some of the returning quarterback play in the league. I think DJ Lagway is about to take off. We know what we're getting from Garrett Nussmeier. Obviously, you got Lenora Sellers sitting right there. John Mateer coming in to Oklahoma. We've just talked about Arch Manning. But I wouldn't – I've referred to Ty Simpson, and I have such respect for him because you talk about a guy that was highly recruited and, son of a coach, kind of just gets the landscape. But he had every opportunity to leave the program and didn't do it. And who's to say he's not going to be the next version of Garrett Nussmeier? Who's to say he's not going to be the next version of Carson Beck, where, okay, you didn't play early, but then all of a sudden you get your opportunity, and instead of being 18 years old, you're 21 years old, you're 22 years old, and you've seen a lot, and you've been through a lot. You've been able to handle disappointment and adversity. You are ready to take the reins. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if that happens with him.
I do want to ask you, we talked about some Alabama recruiting. Peyton Falzone, a lot of Auburn, people that cover Auburn are like, this one just kind of fell in Auburn's lap. I know that's not the way this works, but it was kind of odd. It seemed to catch a lot of people by surprise that a kid that is a Pennsylvania kid, a Penn State commitment, throws all that out and now will come, a long way to play football at Auburn. This is a good get for the Tigers, but kind of a strange one that came out of nowhere, it felt like.
Totally. I love this kid. He's a top 7 player at his position for us in this class. I thought this was a surprising but very important flip because behind Jackson Arnold, Auburn's very, very young. Now they're more talented than they've been the last 2 to 3 years as a collective group in terms of the quarterback room. It's interesting. I'm going to say something here, and it really applies to quarterbacks. But to be honest with you, it applies in recruiting to everybody now. High school recruiting has become basically a lease program, right? Mm-hmm. You're just leasing these players. You're paying a dollar amount up front, right? And then you're going to lease them month by month, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years if you're lucky, and then they're gone. And so what we see now on paper for high school recruiting, it doesn't carry much weight because the likelihood that any of those players are going to be on campus with the team that they signed 18 months, 24 months from the time that they sign is diminishing by the day. So, is this a great pickup? You're far from home. Okay, well, how do you handle that? Well, what if next thing you know, a year from now, you're not even in the 2 deep? What are you going to do? You going to leave? Because that's what we're seeing all the time right now. So these players are rented for all intents and purposes right now. And the transfer portal is becoming the time where you pick them up on the back end.
Tom Luginbill is with us. We'd like to use our next 15 minutes, if I can ask the chair, the next 15 minutes to talk entertainment. Before these guys ask you questions, New York Times put out their top 100 movies of the first quarter century of this century, so 2000 to 2025 so far. And I've only got the top 10. The rest is behind a paywall. But I was just wondering, in your opinion and Lance's opinion, what the best movie is in this first 25 years, in your opinion, of this century. It's hard to believe we're a quarter of a way through another century, but we are.
I've got 3 that jump to me, Luginbill. No Country for Old Men, Parasite, and The Departed.
Oh, that's really good. Boy, you got 3 really, really good ones. You know what I would throw in there? And I'm throwing this in there regardless of the fact that it is technically a superhero movie. The Dark Knight's got to be in there.
Okay, here's the top 10. Parasite number 1 is according
That's
to
a great one.
New York Times. Mulholland Drive is 2.
Boo,
David Lynch.
Come on.
There will be blood 3.
It's overrated. It was good. Great performance, but it's overrated.
New York Times getting destroyed here. It's like it's a Trump press conference.
In the Mood for Love, I don't even know.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
What?
Is 4. Moonlight is 5. I don't know what that is.
Moonlight was so overrated.
Yeah,
Mahershala Ali. Yeah.
I mean, even Melton's got head in hand. I mean, Melton doesn't like
Shocking
this
this
either.
is a New
Melton,
York Times
feel free to chime in.
No Country for Old Men is 6. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is 7.
Great movie.
Stop it.
That's a great movie.
Whoa, we have disagreement.
Get Out is 8. Spirited Away is 9. And The Social Network is 10. And I can't give you the rest of the list. It's on the New York Times behind the paywall.
I love The Social Network. I thought Social Network was really, really well done.
Oh, I agree. I thought Social Network was absolutely fantastic.
And, David Fincher is teaming up with Quentin Tarantino, and they are doing Melton, is it a sequel or a prequel to Cliff Booth?
It's a sequel.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, how awesome is that going to be? Yeah. And that's another one that should be right there on that list. It is one of the best films over the last 25 years.
That's another one. It's interesting because you think about, like, I would put Top Gun Maverick on that list.
Yeah, that away, Lugs.
Absolutely.
One for the real people.
Let me tell you what else I would do. I would probably I'd put Fallout. I'd put Fallout and Dead Reckoning on that list. Mission Impossible.
Yeah, to Melton's point, though, the New York Times would never do that. Because, as Tyler says in the chat, Mulholland Drive is the epitome of pretentiousness. I've never seen it, is it?
Well, it's a David Lynch film. I
not
haven't.
Good.
Yeah.
That's not a top 10
It's going to be really weird, I can tell you that.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Okay, so I got a text from you last night, and you were like, have you watched Department Q? And I hadn't even heard of it. And we're always looking for new series and shows to watch. And I told you I just randomly picked up Animal Kingdom a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
and
I started that last night.
Okay, I think you'd like it a lot, Luginbill, because it's got a weird family dynamic.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it's got it's like white trash Succession, but
okay,
but
I can get that.
But Point Break. It's just a crime family
vibes.
You just need to check it out. But
that's with Ellen Barkin, right?
Yeah. She plays.
And then the one dude that's in the pit.
That's right. Yeah.
Military veteran in the pit.
Yeah. He plays
Sean Haddisy.
Yeah, he plays a doctor in the pit and plays the most strangely awkward person in this series.
Oh,
so awkward.
And he actually plays it really well.
He does, but it's scary how well he plays.
A lot of PTSD.
You got to get on Department Q.
Okay, so I started doing a little background. Now, the only actor I'm familiar with is Kelly MacDonald, who was in Boardwalk Empire and No Country for Old Men.
You're not familiar with Matthew Good?
Nope.
Okay, did you see The Offer, the show about how The Godfather was made?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the guy that played the head of Paramount, Robert Evans?
Yep, he did a great job with it. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Did a great job with it. He's a great actor.
Okay, so the reviews are great. The storyline seems fantastic. So I'm all in. I'm going to check it out this weekend at some point. How many episodes?
9.
Okay. Have you already finished it?
Yeah, finished it. My wife and I grinded it. Management right here. She's sitting right here.
Hey, can you imagine what prolific workers we would be if we could grind out work like we grind out Netflix?
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm a morning guy, right? Like sometimes to a ridiculous point. So the way I justify things is I've gotten through so much of my workday before other people have showed up to work. But I don't want to hear any lip from anybody.
I've got to hear it.
Yeah. So, but no, I listen. We the other one that we started or that we finished was called The Survivors. It's also on Netflix. It's Australian, and it's a good murder mystery.
Never heard of it.
I mean, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom. I fell asleep during the second episode, so I got to go back and finish it. That's a theme for me.
Oh man,
that's a theme for me. And but I know. But my wife was like, she was like, you need to go back and watch the end of the second episode. So I guess I'm an episode and a half in.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. So it gets to a point every time. There's a ton of action. You're like, it's getting a little over the top. But they have a storyline that completely brings you right back in.
Yep, I noticed that.
Okay, good.
And so I'm in season 3 now. But it's
So
gritty.
did that show start on TNT?
It did.
Yep.
I never
Yeah.
did. So it's based on a movie in Australia and back to Australia that was up for best. I think it won Best Picture in Australia. It was up for Best Foreign Film here. It's a really, really good movie, and it's based on a crime family, but they take a little turn. They add a little Point Break to it because they do it in California.
Okay.
It's right outside of San Diego.
Okay, here's a question for you. What are you looking forward to seeing most? F1, Jurassic Park Rebirth, or Superman?
If I'm being honest with you, none of the above. Girlfriend will drag me to Jurassic Park. I love the first one. I just didn't like any of the ones after.
Yeah.
F1, I'm sure it's going to be better than I think. I'm just not a Superman guy at all.
There are 3 people on our staff that have seen F1. And all of them give it a glowing recommendation.
Okay.
Am I right about that, Tyler and Tim? You've both seen it, right? Both of you, Tyler, glowing recommendation? Is that right?
Who are these big shots that are working with you that get the sneak peeks?
Melton, tell us, give us 30 seconds on F1.
Everyone's losing their ever-loving mind over it. It's a very generic story, but the visuals and the sound are 10 out of 10 experiences.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's just undeniable. The story's paper thin. It's a little bit of, if you've seen any sports movie ever of all time, it follows those same beats, very predictable.
I'm out.
Yeah.
However, the spectacle is what you pay the $20 for, and it is worth the spectacle.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. And then Bo saw it last night, and he came back today and said it was fantastic. So everybody that's seen it up here loves it.
Same director as Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I've heard, I don't know if I think I heard this correctly. It's the most expensive movie ever made.
Whoa. Wow.
I think there's some validity to that.
$300 million?
That is
Yikes.
crazy.
Good luck to him.
Luginbill, will you look like Tom, or will you look like Brad Pitt at 61?
Will I look like Brad Pitt at 61? I don't think I look like Brad Pitt now.
So, getting to 61 is only going to hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just hanging in there steady at 51.
You know, the more I think about it, he has had maybe one of the, if not the greatest career as far as this. The women love him. The men are like, this dude is cool, and he gets great roles, and he's become a really, really, really good actor.
You know what he is? He's our generation, or
Steve
this
McQueen.
last 25 to 30 years version of what Robert Redford was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I could go with that.
Good call, yeah. All right, he is ESPN.
By the way, have you guys watched Jaws yet this summer for the 50th anniversary? Let's go.
I watched it Friday night. Luginbill, I was going to do it in the pool. My pool TV's out, so I had to take it inside.
Nice.
First world problem.
First world problem, yeah.
But, yeah, it was just as good as the first 55, 60 times I've seen it.
Exactly.
You and I still got to do this this podcast we've talked about forever and ever.
Yes. Yeah, get busy.
Yeah.
Like you said, if we just devoted our time to actually wanting to work.
I need to get you in town, or I need to come into your town, and we need to figure something out. We drink a bunch of summer beers, and we put this thing together.
Hey, listen, I'm ready to roll.
All right, he is ESPN's Tom Luginbill at Tom Luginbill on social media. Luke's, have a great weekend, a good 4th, and we'll catch up again soon.
Same to you guys, man. Best to y'all.
All right, buddy. Take care. Luginbill with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And the show today being brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Our friends at UCA want to help you stay on top of your health. Early detection literally could save your life. That's why they have 16 locations, 35 urologists on standby here in Central Alabama. Prostate health, the kidney stones, everything in between. 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. And our friends at Bojangles, Brownie.
It can be bow time for you. Everybody loves good dipping sauce, from sweet to heat. They got it for you at Bojangles. You know what goes great with those dipping sauces at Bojangles? Those great chicken tenders. If you want that sweet, you can try some honey mustard. You want some tang with barbecue. You want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, classic bow sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show being brought to you in part today by the folks at Twin Peaks. Tell us about Twin Peaks, LT.
Twin Peaks, great place to hang out, get that 29-degree draft. Ours are sitting at 35 in studio right now. Summer is the season of splurging. Don't compromise. Coming to Twin Peaks all week long and save big on your favorite food and beverage menu items every single day. Summer savings starts at your local lodge. Stop in, see them. One of the best happy hours out there. Our friends at Twin Peaks, locations all over the place. Again, you watch all of Major League Baseball action. They've got the extra innings package, and you can get those 29-degree beers in 3D. Twin Peaks girls running all over the place. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's Twin Peaks.
Hey, we were talking yesterday before the second round of the NBA draft. Would Johni Broome get picked? You didn't have to wait long. He went, I think, the 5th pick in the second round. He goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. Charles Barkley telling the SEC Network yesterday he's the greatest Auburn player ever in an Auburn uniform. Now he's going to go where Barkley went out of Auburn to Philadelphia and try to follow in his footsteps. What do you think of the pick?
Well, okay, a couple of things. Obviously, Philadelphia, a terrible organization right now. And you start to look around and how bad they have been at drafting. And this is not a shot at Johni Broome. I am surprised he went this soon in the second round. I don't know how big of an impact. He incredible college player. I don't know how big of an impact player he's going to be at this level. But when you look at the past from Michael Carter-Williams, Jahlil Okafor, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, Jaden Springs, David Roddy, these are the guys that the Philadelphia 76ers have taken over the last decade. Tyrese Maxey has worked out if Embiid could ever stay healthy. Jared McCain is still a work in progress. I just don't know where he fits. He's one of those guys easy to pull for. I was surprised he went this high, but now he's got an opportunity. And a lot of people think that, he could be a good 6th, 7th man in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to own this. I think I can't remember how we exactly discussed it yesterday, Dunaway, but I think I said I would be – I can't remember the exact discussion, but maybe I said something along the lines of I think it's more likely he goes undrafted than drafted early. Could not have been more wrong about that.
You're just the opposite, actually. I put it at 1.5 of all the players I named for Auburn and Alabama, and you said Broome would be the one.
Would be the one, but I did say I would take the under 1.5, and I would consider taking the under of 0.5.
I would have said a month ago he doesn't get drafted. I mean, we saw like the workouts, and that's one of the things. If he would have slated at the workouts, but barely leaped the Chelsea phone book.
Yeah,
I mean, what was the vertical?
26 inches, wasn't it? Yeah. So did we set a pretty good number there? We set the number at 1.5. Yeah. That ended up being the number, right?
Just under there because none of the other guys I named got drafted. In fact, if you're a college basketball fan, and a lot of you are, the list of people that went undrafted are an all-star of great college basketball players in recent days. Take a look at this graphic here as he pops it up. That includes Alabama's Mark Sears is there, Caleb Love is there, Eric Dixon is there, R.J. Lewis is there, Salas is there, Hunter Dickinson, who we may see with the squadron next year because he got a 2-way contract with the Pelicans. So that means he could be up with the big group or he could be working on his game here in Birmingham.
He is the primo example of guys that wish they had unlimited eligibility.
Yeah, he could play forever.
Is the Diego Pavia of college basketball because, he had a 7-figure deal a couple of years ago going from Michigan to Kansas, another 7-figure deal this year, and probably would have been given one of those for the next 10 years if he could have stayed eligible.
Does it seem like college basketball is a sport where being a great player translates less to the professional level than any other professional sport? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like if you're Mark Sears level good in college football, you get drafted.
That's right. It's two different games, is what you're saying. The college game and the NBA game.
Yeah, it seems like I guess that's a better way of saying it. It seems like the NBA game is more different from the college game than baseball or football.
Yeah, college football is closer to the NFL than college basketball is to the NBA.
Yeah, and college baseball, most of the great players come out of high school baseball to the Major League Baseball. So I don't know. It's so wild when you see.
Oh, Eric Montrose. Yeah. Locally Richard Hendricks. Great players that it just doesn't equate to the next level.
Here's some local guys who signed some 2-way contracts. I'll run through them all, and then you tell me who you think is going to end up being good. Omore from Alabama with the Raptors. Grant Nelson with the Brooklyn Nets, who had 5 first-round draft picks and used them all. Dylan Cardwell with the Sacramento Kings. Miles Kelly with the Dallas Mavericks, and Mark Sears, his 2-way deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. Who do you think of that group
Grant Nelson.
Nelson.
Just because of the size, the athleticism, a little inconsistent shooting the basketball at times.
I don't like where he signed, though. They have so many young guys. They just drafted 5 in the first round.
Yeah, look, and at the same position because he's going to play the 3. And that's exactly where the Nets went in round 1.
Yeah, I would have signed somewhere else. You're an unrestricted free agent, right?
But I think
somewhere else.
He's one of these guys that maybe can make a splash in summer leagues out in Vegas. And, he gets on somebody's radar and they get him next to nothing. And
or if Brooklyn cuts him, he ends up
his
somewhere
next destination. But I do think Grant Nelson's got some upside there. I will say this. We have had 3 guys drafted in the second round over the last 11, 12, 13 years in the NBA that will be Hall of Famers. So it happens.
Can you remind me of those?
For those, Jokic was
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. Okay. Jokic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jokic is 100% there. Draymond Green
was a second rounder.
Yep. And he will be a Hall of Famer.
And, he played at a primo program, too, Draymond Green. It's not like he was hidden somewhere, that nobody saw.
And Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Out of Villanova.
Yep.
So, those 3. So sometimes it doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes you get some hidden gems in the second round, and maybe Johni will end up being that guy.
And Brunson's issue, we talk about it a ton now. It was his size in the draft. That's why he went second round. Nobody could believe in him as a 6-footer.
Yeah, Green was, I think they thought, a little challenged offensively, and Jokic, there just wasn't enough against high-level competition to justify that.
And Green is a little bit challenged offensively, isn't he?
A little bit, but
but he ended up playing on a team that had 2 of the best offensive players we've ever seen, in Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. So it was like, yeah, we could put an offensively challenged guy out there.
Yeah, but he's just
but he
such
does
a good
so much.
basketball player.
No. He does everything else.
14 SEC players were picked in the 2 rounds, leading all conferences. Calipari did get Thero picked last night, so it continues his streak of having someone drafted every year since 2007.
It's a Laker now.
First time he hasn't had a first-rounder since 2009. We talked about that on the show yesterday. Florida's national championship team, their entire backcourt got drafted. Walter Clayton in the first round. Elijah Martin and Reichard went last night. The entire Duke starting 5 ended up getting drafted. 3 obviously in the top 10, but the entire starting 5 got drafted. You know the last time that happened?
Probably Kentucky and Calipari.
An entire starting 5?
Yeah.
Was it not Calipari and Kentucky?
If it's Duke in 2022.
Oh. It's not been that long ago?
It's the 19th time it's happened.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons I had Duke winning the national championship, and it didn't work out, and I'll have a spray tan in a few weeks because of that. But, there just wasn't a weakness really on that Duke team.
Yeah. And I don't have the graphic ready to go. I gave it to Tyler yesterday, but I don't want you to pull it up, Tyler, but I didn't get to it yesterday, but it was floating around. After the NBA Finals, it may be the first time I can ever remember it, or at least since Magic and Bird played in the national championship game, but the national championship college basketball game beat the Game 7 of the NBA Finals in the ratings.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Bigger TV audience, huh?
And in fact, the top 10 most watched college basketball game, the top 10 most watched basketball games this year, I think 5 of them were college basketball games. 2 of them involved Auburn, 1 of them involved Alabama Duke. And the Pacers series was, trickled in there. It's floating all over social media.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look, Florida and Houston, I guess, are draws, but, that's not like you've got...
Yeah,
Duke playing, Kansas.
Yeah, I think that national championship basketball game, though, has become a very, 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 very poor man's Super Bowl.
Yeah. 18.1 million viewers for Houston and Florida, 16.4 million for OKC and Indiana Game 7.
It is a standalone on a Monday night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a standalone Monday night when there's not a ton else going on in sports. Baseball has just started. It just hits in a good spot on the calendar, and I think a lot of people are like, heck, I'll watch it. I don't care who's playing.
Well, you guys know I've been a huge NBA guy in the past, not as much as I used to be. But outside of a Lakers Game 7, I would rather watch a national championship standalone than a Game 7 with basically anybody involved.
I'm kind of with you.
Duke Houston was 3. Auburn Florida was 4th. Those are the 2 Final Four games. 5th was Michigan State Auburn, 11.7 million viewers. 6th was Illinois, Kentucky. 7th was Alabama, Duke. And then 8th, 9th, and 10th were OKC and the Panthers. 10 most watched basketball games of 2025.
Man, I do think college basketball, the popularity
college sports in general.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Those two, men's basketball.
But it is going to be fascinating, where we go, because as Luginbill just said, these guys are rentals.
Well, I would say right now, at this moment in time, you just said college sports, and I don't have data to back this up, but I would bet on it. You got more people watching college football than ever right now because there's more games on.
Well, it's the second biggest sport. I mean, more people watch college football than Major League Baseball or the NBA.
You got more people watching college basketball right now. You got more people watching women's college basketball than ever have right now.
Yeah.
You got more people watching college baseball than ever have right now.
Yeah, women's softball had a record 2.3 million for their finals.
And I was about to say that fast pitch is maybe the fastest growing of them all. I mean,
so much so that Major League Baseball has started their own professional softball league.
Have they really?
Yeah.
So they want to follow the model and lose money like the NBA?
The NBA, I mean, we keep on the show saying they're losing money. They keep telling me they're making money. I don't know how, but they keep telling me. Like the Valkyries in the Golden State owner owns is valued at $500 million, the evaluation.
Would you guys admit, though, that when you have something at stake as a viewer, you're more likely to watch it, and college basketball is just ripe for you having something at stake, whether it's bragging rights in your bracket or it's gambling? It seems like it's a lot easier to gamble on college basketball.
It's also the one and done nature of the national championship game. To Lance's point, like a 7-game series gives me something to watch every night, but also I don't have to watch game 2. Right? I mean, if I've got something at stake, I do, but I don't have to watch game 2. I can wait for game 5, 6, or 7.
The gambling aspect is interesting because I met a client yesterday afternoon, and they were asking, where are you guys on college baseball? And I said, I mean, it is huge in the SEC, and it's getting more and more viewers, but they're never going to get even close to the level of college basketball or college football because you can't gamble on it week in, week out.
Yeah.
They can't figure out the rotations. There's just not enough people following it. If you had numbers on it each and every week,
when you
could
get a tip on who the pitcher is going to be.
Yeah, well, but if you had that, I do think it would bring more of an interest in.
Yeah. One more note on basketball before we put a wrap on the basketball season. Field of 68 says these 6 players are first-round locks, in their opinion, next year for next year's NBA draft. See if any of them have local ties.
Okay.
The first one they listed, Tahad Pettiford.
Locked for the draft next year. First round.
First round.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Number 2 on their list was...
I'm sorry, Jim.
Okay.
After watching the first round, do you think Pettiford would have gone? Do you get a better feel after seeing what happened in the first round?
Possibly, but I think it is better for him to come back because he goes from playing 20 minutes to probably playing 34, 35 minutes next year. I think the numbers are going to be tremendous. I think he develops more as a shooter and doesn't have those inconsistent moments. I think he's going to be a lottery guy next year.
Yeah, locked for a first rounder.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they don't break it down to lottery. They just say these 6 guys are locked first rounders. Todd Pettiford, Auburn. Yes. The second guy they listed, a guy named LeBaron Philon.
Alabama.
Another guy that possibly could have gone in the first round this year.
Yeah, can he play himself into the lottery?
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Remember, Wrightsail's there now, too, another 6'3" guy who can shoot.
And defend.
Yeah. So Wrightsail could be in this conversation if he's healthy.
But he's not, right? They don't list him?
They do not.
Okay.
Number 3 on this list, Yaxel Lindenborg.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, UAB.
Yeah. Now Michigan.
Yeah.
Vlad Golden didn't get drafted. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but, goes from Florida Atlantic, plays forever, goes to Michigan. He's a big that's got an interesting skill set.
Danny Wolf was a first rounder late. Golden goes undrafted.
And I think Yax is more in between. Like Wolf's upside is tremendous, but he's kind of in between Wolf and Golden.
Jaden Quintance of Kentucky, Alex Condon of Florida, and Isaiah Evans, the only non-SEC or non-local guy on the list. He's the Duke guy, 5-star Duke guy.
Yeah. Oh, so he'll go.
Yeah, you can count him. Those are the 6 at the field of 68.
I think Condon's going to be really good, too.
Those are the 6 at field of 68, so you can lock into the first round next year in the NBA draft. Back to college football we go, right after we tell you about a couple of our great folks. One of them is our friends at A+ Brownie.
That is who redid the master bath in the Brown house when it came time to do that. My wife and I had purchased our house back in 2015. One of the first things we decided was, we want to redo the master bath. We knew it when we looked at the house. And now this is important because that's one of the rooms we evaluated when we purchased a house. If you've ever bought a house, you know there are certain rooms you look at and you're like, okay, can we live with this? We looked at it. We liked it, didn't love it, wanted it done differently. So my wife scoured the internet. She found Brad Bell. And I am so glad she did because Brad redid the master bath to our specifications, exactly like we wanted it. What he specializes in, and that's why I said this is important, Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. Why is that important? It's not all Brad does, but it's what he specializes in, because Brad knows a couple things. Number one, you're going to spend a lot of time in those rooms. You use them a lot. And number two, when people are looking at your home, if you're selling, those rooms pop. I just mentioned we evaluated the master bathroom, the kitchen, and the closets. I mean, we looked at all those things, so it makes sense, right? If you're tired of those outdated, non-functional rooms, or if you're looking to sell and you want to increase the value of your home, Brad's the guy you need to use. His number, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or AlabamaBathRemodels.com. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That is my guy, Brad Bell.
Coming off another winning night in Major League Baseball. More plays up and available at Lance'sLock.com, including a free play each and every day. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Any of these arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, HempHillServices.com.
All right, the NFL season will do the Hall of Fame game on July the 31st. There are five coaches that are on NFL hot seats, according to Yahoo Sports Today. I think probably we could guess four of them and agree with four of them, and the other one is a stretch.
Mike McDaniel
is a stretch for me.
Yeah, I'm wearing the colors. He's got to be on it.
Mike McDaniel, number 2 on this list. Number 1 is Brian Daboll of the New York Giants. Daboll, 18-32-1 in his time there.
Yeah, much
One
like
playoff, right?
Yeah, much like Daniel Jones, that playoff win on the road against Minnesota a couple of years ago. I am shocked that Daboll was given another year. We'll see what he's able to do with it. Don't have a lot of expectation for the Giants in a really crowded NFC East. Zach Taylor's got to be on this list.
CBS Sports, actually, is who has the list. Mike, we'll go in the order here. Mike McDaniel, who you already named, is number 2 on that list. 28-23, but coming off the worst year yet.
Yeah, 2 playoff appearances, but does not have a playoff win. And when Miami has been really good under him, they have been really good. I mean, they have been dominant at times offensively. They don't have a whole lot of big wins you can hang your hat on. The one thing I would defend Mike McDaniel with is he has spent a lot of time playing backup quarterback. And that's what any Dolphins coach, as long as Tua is the QB, is going to have to be prepared to do. But you can't hold him accountable for that, I don't think, because no coach wins with their backups in the NFL. But that's just part of the game, and you got to deal with that. And the record is what the record is, which for him is 28-23, 0-2 in the postseason. And I think to save and keep his job, he not only has to go to the postseason, but at least advance. I mean, Miami has not won a postseason game in 25 years. You can't just keep going and not advancing and stick with what you got.
Yeah, I think he is going to be judged by postseason.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, you guys are talented enough that you're going to go worst case 9-8, 10, 11 wins. So you're going to get to the postseason, but he has got to win some games. And the problem is when you look around the AFC, it's just great quarterback. And as good as Tua is when he's healthy, he still is, 4, 5, 6 down that list when you're talking about AFC top-end quarterbacks.
Number 3 on this list from CBS is Zach Taylor, who you just named. I did not know this, but I watch it, so when they brought it up, I remembered it. In the first 4 games of the last 2 years, he's 2-6. They've gotten off to horrible starts.
It's what, and everybody does this every year. It's like, well, Cincinnati always starts slow. Well, yeah, and it puts them in a hole every year. And I don't know why they do this.
Back-to-back, no playoffs.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because they've started in the hole 0-2, 0-3, and you can look at the stats. The stats are what they are historically. When you start 0-3 in the NFL, it's like now it's changed because more teams make the playoffs now, but when it was the condensed playoffs, I think you only had like an 8% chance or something to making the playoffs.
I know who 4 is going to be. I don't know who 5 is going to be.
Number 4, take a guess because I couldn't have told you his name.
Shane Steichen?
That's who it is, yeah.
You don't know the Colts coach?
No, you could ask me who the Colts coach was. I could not have told you. That's who it is, number 4. Going into his 3rd year, it hasn't been good.
Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. I mean, these are the guys that you've got to save your job. So that's going to be a problem. I think they're going to go back and forth because they're going to be both inconsistent. I think the Colts, good organization, probably 7 and 10 of those guys. He's probably out. I have no idea who number 5 would be.
Can I just quickly say, how bad would it suck to know your job was on the line having to win with Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones? Now, the good news is you're in that division.
Yeah, I brought it up earlier this week, maybe even yesterday without you, but Daniel Jones, According to all reports around the organization, looks good, looks comfortable. He's QB1 because AR is out, won't be back to camp. It's the best of Daniel Jones they've seen since the year he took him to the playoffs. What was that, 2021?
He is one of these practice guys, though. People rave about him, but once the lights come on, it's a little bit different. Just because I've drilled this list, I'm going to guess number 5, Kevin Stefanski for Cleveland.
Should be more than this guy. This is the one that makes no sense to me because you could make a case that he is I don't even think it's a case, that he's the second best coach in organization history.
All right, so a team that currently has their second best coach ever.
Not Kyle Shanahan.
It's Sean McDermott.
Oh.
Who I think has done a heck of a job.
Well, but I mean, at some point, and I agree with you, he is the second best coach they've ever had. I'll shout out Wade Phillips, but he did not accomplish as much. Marv Levy's number 1, and he's got to be number 2. But at some point, you do wonder where Buffalo fans say, like, man, we have underachieved. They've not even been to the Super Bowl. It's not that they've gotten there and lost. They haven't even been to the Super Bowl in this run. And NFL windows close awful fast. And you've got not only the second best coach you've ever had, the second best quarterback you've ever had.
Well, you're running out of time with both Lamar. I say this, and they're both still young, with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And I think the biggest underachiever, just based on how good he is, and we talked about him a couple of days ago, Aaron Rodgers going into that final year, Pittsburgh. But right behind him, you've got to start talking about Buffalo and Josh Allen because you're right, not even getting over the hump to represent the AFC.
Yeah, they've not even been to the Super Bowl, Jim. Had you been to a couple Super Bowls, you would still have that feeling, but still, at least you won the AFC. And they've had it at home. They've lost it at home. They've had home field and can't get through the AFC.
Well, they had the MVP last year. Allen was that good. He played his best football. But it's going to be weird if they win 12 games. I mean, this is going to be like kind of Tom Thibodeau, New York Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals and we blow you out. I mean, it really is hard to fire a coach after winning 11 or 12 games. I don't know how they don't win 11 or 12 games.
The year Cincinnati went, and they played your Rams, right? That was the one where they beat Buffalo in the AFC Championship game.
No, they beat KC.
What year did Buffalo lose the AFC Championship game at home? Who went? Was it KC maybe then? Maybe it was one of the KC teams. Okay.
Yep. Of course it was.
That was the one that hurt the most, I think. I know it was Kansas City.
Well, the one that hurt the most was probably the divisional game where, there's 30 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, in Kansas City.
Yeah, in 2 plays they get down because they would have been favored in that AFC Championship.
Yeah, they've found every way to get out of this thing. It's just hard to fire a coach, though, when you've won as many games they've won, because to your point.
That's what I was about to say right here. This stat comes out. They have him on the hot seat. But this is the first line, accounting for regular season and postseason, he's tied for the second most wins, 93, by a head coach in his first 8 seasons in NFL history.
Sean McVay?
Can you?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't have the number 1 guy.
Can you think, he'd be in the running, can you think of another situation like this where a coach has been really, really successful, they've had really good quarterback, they can't get over the hump, and they make a coaching change and that gets them over the hump? Can you think of one offhand? There's probably an obvious one we're not thinking of.
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tony Dungy built them into a Super Bowl winner, and they switched, and Gruden won it.
Yeah, to take that quarterback away, though.
Yeah.
That's got nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Quarterback was the But, I mean, I was kind of looking for something like that.
Changed that whole organization, drafted all the players that Gruden won with.
I just can't think of another situation like this current Bills situation where you would fire a coach that has been that successful. Because, I mean, what would it take to get him fired, do you think? I mean, if they lost in the divisional round or the wild card round, I mean, you can't go to an AFC Championship game and get fired, I don't think.
I only know one Buffalo Bill fan, and I actually saw him 2 nights ago at the Def Leppard concert. I have not seen him in years.
Right.
So he comes up, he taps me on the shoulder, Tommy, and I'm like, hey, man, sucks to be a Bills fan. Like, you guys are so – and he's like, you know what, I'm kind of a Dolphins fan now. I'm like, how do you?
There's zero chance he's a Dolphins fan. I will not accept him.
He's a huge Alabama guy, and he's like, I became a Bills fan because according to ESPN, and I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm like, how do you give up on the Bills in the middle of like this run?
You go back to Tommy and you tell him one Dolphins fan too, and he is not accepting you.
Yeah,
I'm not accepting a Bills fan.
You shouldn't.
Yeah. Boy, how was Def Leppard, by the way?
It was hot as 10 hells.
Yes.
They were really good. I had a feeling watching them at the end, this is the last time I'll ever see them in concert. I've seen them a bunch. But Joe Elliott's 66 now. But they put on a great show. The sound there is tremendous, by the way, because there was like 15 planes It's a little uneasy seeing planes that close to all that amount of people, but you never hear the planes. It sounds great. I didn't get a full look at the venue because Jack was limited because he had the surgery yesterday, so we were, kind of immobile. But it was just hot as hell.
Yeah. That gets us to our viewing menu. Look forward to the whole summer at Coca-Cola Amphitheater. That's where LT was for Def Leppard. The viewing menu is brought to you by our friends at Michelson. LT was able to see that venue with great eyesight thanks to Michelson.
205-969-8100. That is a number that I called more than 2 decades ago. Make sure you ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jim Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, so this week the biggest release is F1. Tim and I cannot. Well, actually, Tim could probably. He's probably a little bit lower on this movie than I would agree. Yep. I really enjoyed it.
Paper thin story, I would say so.
Yes. Yeah.
I love the honesty, though.
It's a lot of fun. I would recommend going to see that at the biggest screen you can this weekend. But we've also got a theatrical re-release this weekend. If you're not an F1 fan, this is probably the polar opposite of F1, I would say. It's the 30th anniversary of Clueless.
Great movie.
I've never seen Clueless.
Oh, Alicia Silverstone.
Another movie from the 90s. Brown hasn't
I know.
seen.
So good. And this is going to shock you. Paul Rudd looks really young in the movie. Of course, he was really young in this movie.
Yeah.
But did you like Clueless? I thought Alicia Silverstone as Cher was great. I thought it was fun.
It's fine. It's not one I go back to often, but the people who love that movie, I mean, it's like a cult.
Yeah, I thought it was well done.
Yeah. How old was she in that movie? I don't want to get into Wander Franco neighborhood.
I would say she was definitely legal. I would say she was 20 or 21 playing a senior in high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
because that's when she was doing the Aerosmith videos as well with Liv Tyler.
That's what I've learned, Jim, when you have those concerns you just had. Most of the time, actors playing a high school senior are in their 20s. Yeah.
So I think the film was 1995. I would think that she was probably born in 1975.
She was 18 going on 19, but the character was depicted as 16.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Maybe
closer.
We should move on to the next thing on the view.
Yeah, a little closer than you wanted it to be there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Stranger Things kids are like 30 now, still playing high schoolers. So you can pull it off if you want to. But we've also got a new release on Max. This was a movie I got to see earlier this year, and I absolutely loved it. It's called The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Porky Pig and Daffy Duck work together to stop an alien invasion after they come across a mind control plan at the bubblegum factory they work at.
Okay.
It's like a 50s sci-fi B-movie mixed with the classic Looney Tunes humor, and I absolutely loved every minute of it.
Melton said paper-thin plot on this one, too.
You're putting words in my mouth.
I'm sorry, Melton.
Melton didn't even see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't blame you, Melton.
There's a reason.
And finally, on the viewing menu today, there's a movie that Tim has recommended me, and I've been meaning to get to it, and I almost watched it last night, but I noticed it was the TV version, and so I held off, but I'm planning on watching it this weekend. It's available on Netflix, Tubi, and I believe it's on Hulu as well. It is Barbarian from Zach Kreger.
Very good.
Yes, very good. Lots of twists and turns. Can't really get into the plot. It's the opposite of a paper-thin plot. It's got a lot of layers to it.
Phone book thick.
It is going to make you hesitate on the Airbnbs moving forward.
Probably so. But the first 20 minutes of that movie, I feel like, is perfect. First 20 minutes.
Just so intriguing.
Definitely.
And that is the viewing menu with Tyler back there, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. As we head to break here, LT, tell them about great breakfast, great lunch, great fourth meal with our friends at Lags.
Oh, Lags Eatery, yes. It is going to be open. It started today at 6 a.m. It will go all the way till 2 a.m. So if you work that second or third shift, or you're just out at the bars with friends and you want to enjoy some incredible food, you can do it at Lags Eatery, located in Avondale, between Cahaba and Avondale Brewing, a rock's throw away from Mom's Basement. Stop in, see our friends Eric and Justin there, hang out on the patio, watch a little Braves action, enjoy the best happy hour in Birmingham with a great selection of cold beer, frozen drinks, delicious burgers, bologna sandwiches, great sides like those crispy tater tots. Stop in, see all the great folks today at Lags.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Our Bow Tender moment of the day brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. It's the best, worst bobblehead ever after Brownie tells you about Bojangles.
Yeah, from sweet to heat, Bojangles got a dipping sauce that everyone will like. You know what goes great with a good dipping sauce? Those great Bojangles tenders. You can have those for lunch and enjoy some great dipping sauces from Bojangles, like that honey mustard if you want the sweet, that barbecue if you want the tang. You look for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bow time.
All right, Tyler's on the switch back there in place of Forrest, who's on vacation. Tyler, when you have it. Give me the best, worst bobblehead ever. Be at Yankee Stadium, August the 21st, Yankees Red Sox. George Costanza sleeping under his desk bobblehead. Sometimes the only thing that gets him out of bed is a good nap. There's the line from the movie there. The Yankees honoring Costanza's time working with the organization there with the bobblehead of George Costanza this many years later after that show.
I was going to say, man, like, how old is their fan base?
Well, I mean,
that's a 30-year reference.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
I was 19 when that happened. That can't be right.
Well, I mean, I don't know about the exact episode.
Yeah.
I was not a big Seinfeld guy. I never got into it at all. But I think the final episode was in the mid to late 90s, right?
Probably right.
I've always liked Curb over Seinfeld.
Oh, so much better.
It's like it's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close.
I love Lance. I've never seen an episode, but Curb is so much better.
I didn't say I've never seen an episode. I said I never could really get into it.
Okay.
I've probably seen 15 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, his time working with the Yankees, they had the guy that did Steinbrenner. And is that Larry David that did the George Steinbrenner voice? Do you know, Tim? Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Larry David was the voice of Steinbrenner.
I would say so. Yeah.
I think that's right. It was a very over the top, but there are some classic scenes from when George is working for the Yankees. One of my favorites is when he's got his buddies that are the Houston guys, and they keep calling everybody an SOB. So he starts calling them SOB, and they're like, "You call him?" He walks up on him on that phone call. "You sons of bitches."
That's a fantastic.
That's a fantastic episode.
May 14th, 1998, the last episode. 179 and 180, 76 million viewers.
What was
Buddy,
the date on
that? That's almost, I mean, it's not Super Bowl level, but 76 million.
I watched it.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember thinking, what the hell just happened?
No,
here?
It was a bad episode, honestly. They did not finish it
most
well.
of them are. What was the date on that?
May of 1998.
Yeah, well, there you go.
9 seasons.
Made them all rich.
That ended in 1998. That is best, worst bobblehead out there. Yankee Stadium, August 21st, if you're in the neighborhood. Let's get to 4 downs. Before we do that, Brownie, tell us about Breakline. Today's a big day in sunglass history.
It is. Lance, you want to tell them what today is? Offbeat holidays in the month of June.
Brown's already forgotten what
Our
today is.
Our friend Cleve reminded us it is National Sunglasses Day.
I remembered.
You just need to wear those the last hour and 21 minutes of this show.
For National Sunglasses
Day. To celebrate National Sunglasses Day with our friends at Breakline. They're going to give you today, and today only, you've been thinking about it the last couple of weeks with us talking about this, half off every pair at Breakline today.
Wow. Half off every pair. BreaklineOptics.com?
Yeah.
BreaklineOptics.com. Half off every pair of Breakline sunglasses there at BreaklineOptics.com. Go take advantage of that. Cast molded polarized Trivex lenses may not mean anything to you until you drop your glasses, and it does, because you can't break these things, man. They take a hammer to them. These are just lightweight. They are well made. They look so good. We've gotten great feedback from everybody that has ordered them or gone out to Deep South Outfitters and bought a pair. Now, again, this half off is going to be at BreaklineOptics.com, BreaklineOptics.com. So buy them on the website for half off today. Go look at all the great brands, or all the great styles they have for men and women, the outdoorsmen, the lady that likes to be outdoors, fishing, hunting. Also on the golf course. They're great on the golf course, and they just look great no matter where you are, at the beach, at the lake, at the pool. BreaklineOptics.com. Celebrate National Sunglasses Day at Breakline Optics. Order your pair today. BreaklineOptics.com for half off when you order today. BreaklineOptics.com.
First down.
Okay, what happens first? Another Notre Dame national championship in football, or I'll give you the combination Alabama-Auburn national championship in basketball.
I knew you were going there. I mean, they were both close to happening this last year. Notre Dame played for the national championship. Auburn was in the Final Four. Alabama was in the Final Four last year. Notre Dame... I mean,
facts, not a national championship since 1988, but facts, Alabama, Auburn have never.
Yeah. But, there was a time where I really wondered if we'd ever see either one of those two in the Final Four. And now Auburn has gone twice. Alabama has gone once, been back to the Elite Eight again. It feels like they are Final Four contenders, both programs now done away every year.
Yeah.
And there was a time, I don't know if you wondered if you would ever see them in the Final Four. I did.
Yeah. I know I've said that on the show several times. I agree almost word for word what you just said there. Notre Dame, I didn't think they'd ever be this national relevant again. Probably in this situation, I'm still going to go Auburn or Alabama basketball wins the national championship. Notre Dame's going to be close. I just don't think they're going to have enough to get over the hump past an SEC or a Big Ten team.
Is Nate Oates kind of the Marcus Freeman of college basketball? I'm not talking about the likability, but I'm talking about if you had all the ADs and you didn't have a coach and you could draft any, coach in football or any coach in basketball, I mean, Nate Oates would go in the top 3.
Yeah, he
right?
would because he's still young.
Yep.
He's got tread left on the tires.
Fun style.
He plays a fun style that is a lot like what the NBA is playing, so you're going to be able to recruit kids that want to go to the NBA. You win a lot of games. You go deep in the tournament. And even in losses, it's an entertaining game most of the time. Do you ever watch Alabama basketball games and you're just like, yuck? I mean, it's still a frenetic, entertaining game. So I think he would have what every athletic director would want at a program just about. So, yeah, I can see that comparison.
I'm getting 2 for 1 here.
I'm going to go with a 2,
but
I think.
Notre Dame could do it this year.
Could.
I'm going to lean Notre Dame.
Alabama and Auburn could.
A lot of love with not a proven quarterback, but I'm with you. Notre Dame's in the mix. I have them losing the national championship game this year.
Second down.
More wins in 2025. Notre Dame or the Baltimore Ravens? And I'm giving the totality of the season for Notre Dame, 14 wins last year, just regular season for Baltimore.
You give me all of Notre Dame,
Yeah.
not just the regular season? I'll take Notre Dame easy then.
Easy.
Yeah. I'll go 11-1. I'll say they drop one in the regular season somewhere.
Arkansas.
But then
or Texas A&M.
Then
or
it's hard to believe the Ravens would win less than 12, though.
Yeah, and then you go to the playoffs, and 1, 2, 3 gets you in the championship game. That gets you to 14. Ravens aren't sniffing 14.
Wow. Sniffing it, Jim said.
I'll take Notre Dame.
I mean, you could make the argument the Ravens are the best team in football.
Could make that argument.
Could make it.
I mean, you could.
The totality.
You have to overlook like 4 or 5 other teams. But yeah, you could.
The totality makes me want to go Notre Dame. I'm with Dunaway. If I get the entire college football playoff, I do get robbed of the conference championship game. But that's okay.
Can you give me those 4 or 5 teams?
Who are the 4 you would say are definitely better?
Well, I would definitely say I think the Buffalo Bills are better than them.
I would agree.
Kansas City may slip behind them, but I mean, Baltimore's window's closing too, and there's a reason why they keep losing those games when they get to the playoffs.
Not beat Baltimore in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, Buffalo beat Baltimore.
I thought they did.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Buffalo's better.
I say Buffalo's better.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the Eagles.
The Eagles is a good one. I don't want to jinx them, but I think the Rams are better than Baltimore this upcoming season.
The Rams had the Eagles.
You can't argue it.
I know. Lance can't argue against it, so Dunaway's got to throw it out.
Detroit there on the Baltimore level. They're slipping.
I'm just saying they're all right there. I'm saying you could make an argument going into this season Baltimore could be the best team.
Yeah, they're in that discussion. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they keep losing when they get to the big games.
A lot of people say it's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, just that style.
Yeah.
Third down.
Where are we on third down? What happens first? Johni Broome starts 80 games in the NBA, or Auburn plays for a national championship in basketball?
Okay, first off, who starts 80 games anymore?
Well, you're not saying in one season.
I'm talking about in his
Because I was about to say the same thing, Jim, until I realized what he was asking. I was like, nobody starts 80 games in a season anymore.
So what was the second half of that?
Or Auburn wins a national championship in basketball. I would go Auburn winning a national championship in basketball.
I mean, I hate to do this to Broome, but I would bet against him ever getting 80 starts.
Yeah, I think the number, I would put the over-under at like 21.5. Now, there could be injuries.
Take Broome off the table. We're not even talking about Johni Broome. Let's just say, what are the odds a second-round draft pick gets 80 starts in the NBA? What are the odds on that, you think?
Not a lot.
I mean 10% of those guys, I was going to say.
But can I just ask you, okay, we talk about him being undersized, but you talked about second-round draft pick Draymond Green. How tall is Draymond? I mean...
but Draymond's handle's great. He's so much more athletic.
But I'm just asking.
Broome can't shoot. He can't jump. He can't dribble.
I know, but out of whack, when you watch an NBA game and a college game, Draymond Green looks to be the same size to me as Johni Broome does.
Well, he's not that big.
Oh, he's not as big
not
as
even
Broome?
6'10"?
No. I think Draymond is 6'8", 6'9".
Okay. Does he not play their low post?
Yeah, but he's more of he's a 3-4.
But they list Draymond at 6'6", with a 7'1" wingspan.
Well, who plays the center for Detroit?
I mean, you mean for
the post? I mean for Golden State.
For Golden State, who is their true post? I don't know, but I mean he's in the paint a lot.
Ever?
He's in the. I mean, a true.
All he does
5.
is rebound and kick back out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling Johni will find a role on a team and make 80 career starts.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be against the odds.
Not that Auburn won't win a national championship, but I think Johni can find a place to make 80 career starts. Heck, I'm hoping Mark Sears finds a place to make 80 career starts.
The current Golden State, the roster they played with this year, they have got one singular player that's taller than 6'9". You don't see that a lot in the NBA.
Well, go back and just pick
Kevon Looney plays their center. He's only 6'9", though.
Yeah.
Their only guy that is above 6'9" is Quentin Post, who didn't do much for him this year, I don't think.
But to your point, Broome doesn't run the floor at the same pace that Draymond Green can run the floor.
Yeah, and
or that Looney can run the floor.
I know they list Broome as a 5, but even 5s now in the NBA, they're able to shoot the outside shot. I know Broome attempted a lot, and some of those wide open ones he would make. But, I mean, when I would have money on Auburn, every time he would shoot that 3, I would kind of cringe.
When you had it on Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. How often
you had him on the other team, you were like,
yes.
shoot that 3.
How often do you see, though, an NBA team with only one guy over 6'9"? That's pretty rare.
More and more because
it's an outside game.
Shooting so many threes.
Yeah.
4th down.
Not only is it National Sunglass Day, it's also National Food Truck Day. If I asked you guys your favorite food truck of all time. By the way, Chef, really good movie, Melton, you agree?
Yes, it's very quality.
And that's one of those you can watch, and Tyler's giving a thumbs up from the back. Jon Favreau, John Leguizamo, the chick from Modern Family.
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah. That's one of those you can watch with your kid. It's like a good family movie. It's got a little edge to it. But you can also watch on a date night.
Food truck or food truck meal? Actual food truck or food truck meal?
I think the first food truck I ever had food from was Melt here in Birmingham.
Yeah,
Did they
I
used to
remember
have a
that.
food truck?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they did. That's how they started.
It was one of the first.
Yeah.
And they put it outside of Balsh and Bingham a lot.
Yeah, and so I'll stick with that one. And then right after I had a Melt, we went to Austin that summer, and they had a whole food truck area because it was big in big cities, and it was late coming to Birmingham. And I enjoyed them all there. I don't remember any names, but I'm going to go the Melt food truck.
So were you guys at Bethany, my ex-wife's 40th birthday party?
We were out of town. I was not there, but I knew you got a food truck.
Yeah, we had our friends from Slice brought their food truck. And, they were one of the first food trucks because that was back in 2013. But, yeah, they put it in the yard and just did pizzas all night. It was pretty awesome. But they always had one of the better – just come in and get a Slice food truck.
I don't know if I ever had a Slice pizza. I have at your house. I remember maybe I was at that party.
You might have been. I remember the
Have
funny
you had
thing.
it from multiple things?
We did it twice.
Yeah, I was there for one of those two for sure.
But they brought kegs of snake handler. That ended up being a mistake for some people.
I can see that, yeah.
I see this one on TikTok, and it's a British guy over there that does a baked potato. He's got a baked potato food truck, and you put the toppings in. And his most famous one, I think.
It doesn't seem efficient. Baked potato takes forever.
You pre-bake the potatoes.
He's got a bacon wrap. Yeah. No, he does this so fast, Lance. It's crazy how quick he can do this.
You bake them at night and take them out the next day.
That's right. Yep. He's got them wrapped in a heater, and he pulls it out, and he'll open one up, cut the other one in half, put another. It's a baked potato and a half, basically. And his most famous one, which I think they like this across the pond, he puts baked beans in there. Baked potato with baked beans in it, and then they'll get different toppings like cheese. Some people get the meat on there, and they always look so good, man. Like, I would like to try one.
And, baked beans, obviously big British breakfast.
Yeah.
We've got that place out by us, and they've got baked beans on the morning menu.
Do they serve them hot or cold, though?
I haven't had them there. I've had them before on a British breakfast. And I think mine were cold.
Yeah, I think that's the way they serve them over
breakfast,
there.
yeah.
For breakfast, it's cold, and it sounds
There were a
awful.
lot of things that sucked about the pandemic, but food trucks was not one of them.
No,
it
you're
was
right.
like a lifeline. I mean, when they'd come in and set up shop, I mean, the lines, I was like, this is great. It's all outdoors.
Yep.
I'll tell you, man, I respect those guys. That would be a tough living, though, because you get all this food prepared and, like, you have a bad day and it rains, nobody shows up.
I think the second food truck I ever had was City Bowls or something like that, the acai, however you say that. But isn't technically when we were kids, the ice cream truck, that was a food truck.
Yeah, you're right. I
And
mean,
they
that
ring
was
the bell and you run out and-
the grandfather of the food truck, wasn't it?
You know, we had Kona Ice come out. It was one of the best deals in Birmingham because you could have them come to the party, and it was literally, it was like $100 to come out, and then you would pay for however many, different shaved ices you got. But I was always a big fan of the Tiger's Blood.
I remember being a kid, Dunaway, in the middle of the summer, and you're outside playing, and 2-3 streets over, you hear that
everybody's running.
Yeah, that little song that the ice cream truck played, and you would get so fired up, and you would stop. Is it getting closer to me or going away from me?
He stopped coming to Forest Brook because we were throwing crab apples at him.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah, we didn't have it in the mud puddle. It never came to us. But if I happened to be at somebody else's neighborhood,
Y'all see him just passing by to go get gas.
he would floor it.
55. Ice cream truck at 55 miles per hour is never
Not
sign.
a good market.
Yeah,
like a cigarette truck could roll through there.
But when I was over at somebody else's house, I'd always ask my nanny. I was like, "Hey, you got an extra $1 in that purse somewhere, just in case the food truck comes when I'm over at Kelly Lyle's house or somebody at Southwind?"
What was your go-to from the ice cream truck? This is so weird, but it was called a screwball, I think.
Yeah, I remember
had
that.
the bubble gum at the bottom.
And I don't know why the bubble gum was appealing because it was like
it's frozen. First of all,
frozen. Yeah. It's old. It's almost like the Topps gum and a pack of cards.
Because you felt like you were getting two things in one. Because when it was all done, okay, now I got gum to chew.
I never took advantage of the bomb pop. The bomb pop's really good.
I liked the bomb pop. I like the bomb pop and the ice cream sandwich. I like both of those.
You like the push-up?
Push-up was good, but it melts really quick.
Yeah, I got the push-up was the least expensive thing. I know this because I was poor. Was the least expensive thing on the food truck, so I could get two of those for what I could get for an ice cream sandwich.
You know what I dislike about?
Were you pulling like felt and things out of the change to hand to him?
Oh yeah, I mean,
long
sometimes
hair.
I'd count pennies. I'd be like,
you know what I hated most about the push-up though is as it melted, that cardboard
would get very.
It would get real wet and just it was such a bad.
Did y'all like the drumstick?
The drumstick was good,
but it was almost like what's the Nature's Own bar? You open it and that shit explodes.
Yeah, the drumstick
everywhere.
you had to eat outside. Your mom and dad wouldn't let you eat it inside.
That's my favorite though. That's I still get a drumstick
It's a
every
good
now and then
flavor,
on the road.
good combo.
I like the mixture there. You know you're poor when
when
you put the change
when Otter Pops are dessert.
No,
I liked Otter Pops.
Those things are disgusting.
I loved
this
them.
is exactly the way it would go on the ice cream truck.
Right.
And you would throw your change up there, and it'd be such a mismatch of change that he'd go, okay, hold
just
on.
rake it in and
he
not
would
count
never
it?
even count it. He'd hand you your items. You just hear him throw it to the side there.
Run, Jimmy, run.
Yeah, he'd never even count it.
You
It's
were a
just
prime candidate for free candy out of a white van. I'm just gonna say.
I mean, it was just like, I mean, I think that's 75 cents, I would say, and he'd never even count it. Just rake it.
Hey, it was not an ice cream truck, but at the ball field, did you guys ever get an Astro Pop? Do y'all remember those?
Yeah.
I loved those things when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was a sucker though. Right?
Yeah. So it wasn't
just
ice
took
cream.
too long.
It would stick to your teeth.
It would last all day.
Yeah.
And then you try to put a paper towel around that damn thing.
That's done.
Just
Yep.
somehow to save it for after the
Yep,
game.
yep.
That is our Four Downs today, brought to you in part by our wonderful friends at Woodhouse. Tell us about Woodhouse Day Spa.
Woodhouse Day Spa is the gift of relaxation. Maybe yourself. You got no plans this weekend, head to the Woodhouse Day Spa, located conveniently at the Summit Shopping Centers. Get you a nice massage. They've got a menu of over 70 options to choose from. Not only the massages, the body treatments, the skincare, the waxing, the nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or just stop in, see Stuart and the great staff. Tell them the next round sent you.
Still fighting or not still fighting, Deontay Wilder?
I would say not still fighting. I don't know if he can get fights, right?
Yeah, I can't get fights right now, but I bet we will see a comeback fight in the next year or two.
You got a guess on his age?
Deontay is going to be older than you think.
38?
I was going to go 38. It sounds great.
39. And he is fighting in a few hours, if I'm correct, in London.
Okay.
In what could be the end of the road for him if he doesn't have a good showing. Big story about him struggling because of his fierce punching. He hit somebody in one of these fights recently that caused some harm to a guy. He's still considered a guy that had one of the hardest punches in the history of boxing.
Yeah.
They say he punched so much harder than Mike Tyson.
You know, I don't know about that, but when you look at the pure strength, the pounds per square inch.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I said early on about Deontay. Like, he's got as much power or more power than anybody in the game, but technically he wasn't a good fighter. He got better and better. And I'll tell you, the fight against it was the night A&M beat Alabama. The big white guy.
Oh, not Fury.
Tyson.
No, Fury?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson, yeah.
That fight was like old school Rocky
It was,
Apollo.
yeah.
I mean, it was complete action. It was what you
Just two
love to
guys
see.
beating on each other. Yeah.
But Wilder ended up being a pretty good fighter. I mean, better than I thought he would ever be. But you're right. I mean, that pure power's got to scare people to death.
Yeah.
He's one of those, a bar fight would kill a man.
Okay. His fight is June 27th. That's today.
That is today?
Yep. Not in London.
It's actually Tuscumbia.
It's in Wichita, Kansas.
Okay, that was close, Jim.
Yeah.
I'll forgive that
job,
one.
by the way.
Against Tyrell Herndon.
Why are they fighting in the middle of the day in Wichita? Did you
Oh,
also
it's
give me the wrong
tonight.
time?
I was going by London time.
Okay.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock Central time
Steve
tonight.
Miller Band doing the national anthem. Where
Tyrell
is this?
Herndon is who is fighting. It's on pay-per-view tonight.
Ooh, good luck on that.
On BLK Prime.
Yeah. I can't imagine they're going to sell many of those.
Yeah. The fight marks Wilder's return to the ring after a year-long hiatus, looking to bounce back from consecutive losses to Parker and Zhang. Herndon's a relatively unknown.
I'd say.
You know, that's one of those sports. You know, we've started to do some of the stuff at Champions, and unfortunately Jack got it, hurt a couple of weeks ago, so we haven't been back in the last couple of weeks. But watching how those guys just do conditioning and then footwork and doing this for like weeks and months to build up to sparring. And then once you get in a ring with somebody coming after you, that skill set, the precision, the toughness, the dedication, that sport's next level.
Yeah.
And I know your old man appreciated it. I love boxing. It's become more of an MMA nation, especially with the younger kids. But, there was a day, it's going to sound really old, boxing, horse racing, and baseball were the three bigs.
I know.
That is really
newspapers.
old.
Tapioca pudding.
Good luck to Deontay, 39, and trying to make a comeback starting tonight in Wichita, Kansas. Local fighter here who is very entertaining. When we come back, we'll do some more college football. An interesting story out there from Matt Baker at The Athletic. It is one, listen, I love it when people do big write-ups on a national scale of things that we've talked about probably 12 times in the history of this show. And now The Athletic has taken something we've talked about 12 times on this show, and they did a big thing. We'll talk about that next on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken. The final hour always brought to you by Champy's on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew. Open for lunch in about 20 seconds. He'll ring the bell and open the door. He's been doing that for over a decade on the same location, just off the I-65 exit. If you're listening to us on the app right now heading down to the Gulf Coast, and you haven't passed that Alabaster exit yet, get off there and get a great lunch with Champy's Chicken. Brined overnight, cooked to order, fried chicken, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. Champy'sChicken.com, Champy'sChicken.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV. I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There's only one Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Poor boy's tenders, full fried chicken plates, and a little bit of the Mississippi Delta with chicken on a stick and hot tamales. On your way to or from the big game on Highway 119 in Alabaster, stop by Champy's Chicken.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings, or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show. We've already talked about number 8 Notre Dame in our 40 and 40 countdown. The first team that was on all 45 ballots. One first place vote from Cole Johnson. But everybody had Notre Dame on their ballot that voted in our 40 and 40 this year. They're in at number 8. On the show, we all had them in the top 10. All of us that voted on the show up here. So a playoff team. You can go back and check any of the first 2 hours on our podcast, Apple and Spotify. Download that. Set the automatic downloads. That helps us out. We appreciate a thumbs up if you're watching us on YouTube. That helps us out as well. Like and subscribe wherever you're getting us today. And we appreciate you being with us, LTD&B, here on The Next Round for the final hour, brought to you by Champies. We also told you about Alabama's big recruiting day yesterday. 5-star running back EJ Crowell. Get a breakdown with Tom Luginbill earlier in the show on him, the Jackson running back. Number 31 overall recruit, according to On3 Sports in the country. Reclassified to go to Alabama. We talked about him and the big tight end Sutter, 4-star tight end that Bama picked up. And Auburn's quarterback, a 4-star flip from Penn State.
and Peyton Falzone, who picked Auburn over Penn State in a flip situation yesterday. All that earlier in the show. But more college football, and a topic that we've discussed many times over here, and it's our Spotlight.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight, presented by our guy Alexander Shunnarah, Trial Attorneys. When you are in need of a trial attorney, Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys is the place to go. You never pay a dime, not 1 cent, unless they win your case. And guess what? They do that a lot. How about recovering more than $2 billion? $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Headquartered in Birmingham, 24 years, the firm has grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
Matt Baker writes the story at The Athletic today. That's our Spotlight. And it simply says, how many college football teams could have won a national title with peak Nick Saban as the head coach? How many times in 17 years did we throw that out there? And they start with 133 teams, does Matt Baker. And then he walks through the process, eliminating all the way down to the final number he gets to. We'll walk you through this as well here.
I would just say, I don't know why you would involve Group 5s, really.
Okay, he kicks some of them out, but before we work through the process, do you have a number, just a random number in head you think he ends up with?
So how many do we have? Is it 64?
If you're talking about Power 4 and Notre Dame, it is 68.
68. Of those 68, I think he could have won a national championship with 40.
I was going to say 42. And I don't have the 42. I was just going to say that's just a number. I would say
40 and 42. Okay, let's go through that. 6 steps along the way, according to Matt Baker. Factor 1, on-field success. He says you take out the UMasses, the Kent State, a lot of the dregs of the Group of 5, and boom, you eliminate all of them. And he has a logo graphic that eliminates 70 teams at that point.
Okay.
Are gone out of 133.
Okay.
Recruiting average is factor 2, and he talks about what the recruiting average was when he was at Alabama was before Nick Saban. They were usually had about the 24th ranked class, and then what he was able to do.
Oh, that'd be the first ranked class almost always. Yeah.
I would be interested to see what he. Again, this is difficult because early on in his career, he's one of those guys that got better jobs as he went along. So Michigan State Nick Saban is much different from Alabama and Nick Saban, but how well did he recruit at Michigan State?
Yeah, but we're talking peak Nick Saban,
okay.
So this whole thing. So this is him in his peak in Tuscaloosa. So just being able to recruit where Alabama was on average before Nick Saban got there during the Shula years, basically. We just eliminated Appalachian State, Boise State, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, Indiana, Memphis, South Florida, UCF, and Washington State. 10 more teams got eliminated.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so we're down 133 minus 80 now.
Though I am inclined, having now seen it, to say if Kurt Cignetti could take Indiana to the playoffs, Nick Saban could potentially win a national championship there.
Yeah.
But I'll allow you to throw it out.
But 53, I think we can make realistic arguments for these 53 teams that he would win a national championship for each and every one of them.
Factor 4 is money. Even if a school is willing to install and implement Saban's famed process, it has to have the money to fund his army of analysts while competing in the arms race of facilities and NIL. We just eliminated 6 more teams, according to Matt Baker at The Athletic.
These are poor schools. Who we got?
Goodbye to Baylor, he says.
Oh, man, Baylor's got money. I would disagree with that.
Yeah, I think he can win a national championship at Baylor for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Goodbye to Georgia Tech.
He could win a national championship at Tech.
Goodbye to Iowa State.
I don't know about that.
Goodbye to Kansas, goodbye to Minnesota, and goodbye to Northwestern.
Okay, I can let you off on those, but let me just point out that I think Art Briles could have won a national championship at Baylor.
Yeah, if Baylor would have got in that 14 playoff, the way they were playing offensively, they could have.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then who was the other one
It was number 2 on that list.
Who was your second one?
Yeah. Okay, the graphic comes. Okay, let me go back. Baylor, Georgia Tech, Iowa State, Kansas, Minnesota, and Northwestern got eliminated on the recruiting.
Okay, but Bobby Ross
before this. Okay, the money's the next one. Okay?
Money's the next. Okay, this is money.
I still think that he could recruit to Tech. I mean, Bobby Ross, I know it was a long time ago, but he won one.
I feel a lot better about Baylor than I do Georgia Tech, but those are the first two where I would say I've got an issue.
Okay, here are the four that got eliminated because they wouldn't have enough money to pour into athletics.
Money. These are the poor schools.
Boston College, Cal, Oregon State, and Rutgers.
I agree with all those.
Yeah, I agree with all those.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We're to factor 5 now, which is NFL draft success over the years, okay?
Okay.
We're eliminating 8 more teams. Arizona, Kansas State, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia.
Again, with Oklahoma State, I'll say Mike Gundy.
I think he could win a national championship with all of those except what were the first two you said?
Arizona and Kansas State.
Arizona's the one that might be difficult, but I think all the others, I think he could win one.
So Kentucky and Mississippi State, you would say yes.
Mike Gundy was on the doorstep of playing for the national championship. Again, I'll say if Mike Gundy, good coach, not great coach, if Mike Gundy can get Oklahoma State on the doorstep of the national championship game, I think Nick Saban could win one there. And here's what I would say about what knocked this out was money.
For those, yeah.
If you had paired Nick Saban with T. Boone Pickens, you don't think Nick Saban could have gotten anything done in Stillwater?
Anything he probably wanted.
Now here's the issue. I don't know how well Nick Saban pairs with the T. Boone Pickens, because the one thing that made Nick Saban the most successful at Alabama was the fact that everybody got out of his way and let him run the joint.
Oklahoma State was the last one. That was the NFL draft success. They have not had a ton of NFL draft people. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but let's just talk about that with Oklahoma State. Like, I don't know if he could have that is one of the factors here is if you've got a big-time booster that wants to participate, Nick Saban ain't about that. Nick Saban's about running his program and you getting out of the way.
I think T. Boone Pickens would have backed up.
I would think so, but I don't know. But you're right. They have not put a ton of players in the NFL.
So the number, you guys are really close, that Matt Baker of The Athletic came up with, that Nick Saban in his peak could have won a national championship at, it is, other than Alabama, so Alabama's out of the mix, 33 teams they say he could have won a national championship at. Here they are.
Okay.
In alphabetical order. Arizona State, Arkansas, Auburn. Those are the A's.
I have no problem with any of those. Nope.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Okay. No B's. The C's are Clemson.
Oh, easy. They've done it with Dabo.
Yeah. Florida and Florida State.
100%.
Georgia.
Easy.
Iowa.
Yeah.
It would have been tougher. I mean, that's maybe the toughest one you've named.
But remember, Iowa goal line stand away from playing Nick Saban in 2015 in the college football playoff. So if Kirk Ferentz can get that close.
Good point. Yeah. Good point.
Louisville.
Yep.
He did it at LSU, but LSU's mentioned again. Miami, obviously. Michigan, obviously. Michigan State's on the list.
I think he could do it at Michigan State.
So if he'd have just circled back, he could have done it at one of his old schools. Nebraska, even modern-day Nebraska, he could do it.
Would be tough, but I think he could do it.
No, 100% he could, yeah.
His best friend's trying to do this one, North Carolina.
Probably.
I mean, I think so. I don't know what would.
I mean, they're spending money right now.
I don't know what would be the stumbling block. They're paying him $10 million, and they're apparently, spending a ton in NIL.
And it wasn't long ago where they were an onside kick away from Larry. Not Larry Eustace.
Larry freaking Fedora.
Yeah,
Larry Fedora almost won the ACC there. Yeah.
Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oklahoma are easy.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Interesting. I mean, I think that's one of the tougher ones you've mentioned, but I don't know what would have stopped them.
They were a bad loss away from Kentucky last year, or Florida from getting to a college football playoff.
Yeah, under one of his students, Lane Kiffin.
Oregon and Penn State, easy. South Carolina.
Not as easy, but we saw Spurrier win 11 games in 3 consecutive years, and he's a better coach than Spurrier.
Yeah.
How this one made it all the way through this one, I don't believe it, but Stanford?
Well, I mean, Jim Harbaugh had Stanford.
They would have been in a 14 playoff with Andrew Luck.
Yeah, on a playoff level with Andrew Luck.
They played, back to your Oklahoma State 2011, they played Oak State in that Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
So Stanford was a top 5 team that year in 2011.
Now, I would say this. I think some of that was Harbaugh's style of play, which Saban certainly could have done. Harbaugh played to his defense and played a very physical run game offensively that the West Coast team struggled with. How many times, and I remember watching this game at your house, it was a big upset over Oregon. I can't remember what year, Lance, but it was a big upset over Oregon. Oregon was, I think, number 1 at the time. And we were at your house, and Stanford kept bringing in tight ends with no names on their jersey. Like, these guys were so far down the depth chart, they didn't even have names on the jersey, and they just kept rolling them in there and running behind them, and Oregon had no answer whatsoever. And they just kept pounding. And that's what Harbaugh was willing to do there.
But Stanford football seems, from Harbaugh, Shaw had it kicking along for a little bit, and then it fell off a cliff.
It's dead.
Yeah, really quick. TCU is on this list.
Yes.
Sonny Dykes had him.
Sonny Dykes had him in the championship game. Yeah.
Can you imagine him recruiting the state of Texas with a Texas school? Tennessee is on this list. Texas is on this list. Texas A&M is on this list.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Nobody's ever done it.
But he could easily do it at A&M. Easy.
USC is on the list.
Easy.
Utah's on the list.
That's one of the harder ones, but I would take him at Utah.
Yeah, I would take him at Utah.
Again, Kyle Whitting or Urban Meyer had them. They would have been a college football playoff team.
And even Kyle Whittingham, I'm just on the fly, has had 3 top 10 finishes.
Yep. I skipped over one in the U's for this reason. Do you think Utah is tougher than UCLA?
Yeah. I wondered if you're going to hit that. The problem with UCLA, I don't know where they are on facilities. We've discussed before the difficulty of hiring a staff because and I'm not just talking about like your coordinators, but your support staff has to live so far away from campus. Like your support staff in Tuscaloosa, what do you think the average drive to work was? 10 minutes?
8 minutes.
8 minutes? And in that 8-minute drive, Jim, you've got everybody from your GA that's sharing an apartment with a guy to your top paid coordinator that's got a mansion on Lake Tuscaloosa. All those people are living that close to the campus. You go out to UCLA's campus, your GA sharing an apartment with a guy sharing an apartment an hour and a half away, and with LA traffic, it's 3 hours.
I bet Saban would make this deal. Hey, look, I need a dorm for and the coaches would hate it.
Yeah,
but my coaches are going to live on campus.
They're going to have to do it because they're going to be here.
They love it.
Well, some of his former coaches would have loved it.
Yeah, they're like, I'll take the dorm. No, you could.
Sorry, honey, I will see you in the spring.
You could afford a house in Beverly Hills. Oh, I know. I'm taking the dorm.
Yeah. Team building with the staff. Virginia Tech, Washington, and Wisconsin round out that list.
Yeah, I would agree with all 3. Virginia Tech would be tough.
It's difficult, but he could do it.
Yeah, those are the. It's an interesting read from Matt Baker there. So the worst program Saban could lead to a national title of the 33.
Stanford,
Louisville, he said, would have been the toughest job.
I'd take Virginia Tech. Is the most difficult. I think Iowa's tough. Louisville, I would agree. UCLA, for all the reasons we mentioned. I think there's a handful you could say are the most difficult.
Yeah, but if Louisville's in a college football playoff this year, it's not going to surprise me.
Yep. Ralph Russo says that Washington was a tough one. Pete Sampson says Michigan State's a tough one. Matt himself says South Carolina. Lindsay says Stanford's the hardest one. Grace Rayner said West Virginia would be the hardest one.
How can you say Washington played for a national championship 2 years ago?
I know.
Absolutely.
Under the guy that replaced Saban, and they've won one in our lifetime. It's been a while.
James, yeah.
Part of their No Wrong Answers series at The Athletic, if you want to sign up for a membership there. Part of our conversation on a football weekend, 57 days away from week 0, being brought to you by our friends at Company Distilling.
Company Distilling, the weekend is here. You're looking for a way to celebrate it. Stop in to your local ABC store and pick up a bottle of Company Distilling. You're going to love it. Now available throughout the state of Alabama, also in states like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, and South Carolina. Whether you're picking up a bottle for this weekend or just exploring something new, Company Distilling is worth the pour. Can't find it on the shelf. Just ask your local store to order it in. Spirits this good deserve to be shared. Must be 21 or older to purchase. Please enjoy responsibly. And if you're looking for a great summer road trip worth toasting to, Company Distilling has 3 must-visit distillery destinations across Tennessee: Thompson Station just outside of Nashville, historic Lynchburg, and Townsend in the heart of the Smoky Mountains. Take a tour, enjoy a flight of the award-winning whiskey, sip on a craft cocktail, soak it all in with the best of company. Plan your visit at companydistilling.com.
By the way, it officially was sent out last night, being confirmed by everyone today. The Board of Trustees will meet on Monday to accept it, but Texas State has been offered the bid to become part of the Pac-12. And I ask you this question now, that Texas Tech finishes the 8 teams that will play football in the Pac-12, the newly formed Pac-12, starting in 2026.
Texas State. You said Texas State.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Texas State. Going to the Pac-12. So that gives them 8 teams starting in 2026 with Texas State in the group. Are they closer to, well, let's just do this. Are they the best group of 5, group of 6
conference
football
out there? Conference?
Pac-12. Because they're nowhere close to being a Power 4, in my opinion.
Nowhere
so
close.
You got the AAC, you got the
Boise
Sun Belt
in there.
Yeah. Give me, so I got Boise State, Utah State, Washington State, Oregon State.
Texas State
State.
Fresno, San Diego State, Utah State.
So I got all, there's 8 and they're all states.
AAC is close.
I think I'm going to go with the Pac.
I think I would lean the Pac-12, though.
Sunbelt's fun. The MAC has lost its. I don't know what's happened to the MAC.
Colorado State was the one I didn't name.
Okay.
Boise leaving the MAC leaving the Mountain West hurts the Mountain West, right?
It does, absolutely.
Dylan says Sunbelt is better.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Dylan and I love the Sun Belt. I think it's underrated how tough that conference is.
Yeah, but I mean, let's go top to bottom. I mean, what's your best program in the Pac-12?
Okay, well, Texas,
Boise State,
and there's nothing close to that in the Sun Belt.
No, I mean, App State
some
is the
years. Closest.
Marshall, James Madison has become that team. Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, you're naming a lot of teams that have been have really good teams in the last 5 years.
Yeah, but Louisiana's been good.
But I'm also getting Oregon State, Washington State, Boise State. All those programs are better than anything we just named.
I think Sun Belt and AAC are comparable to the Pac-12. I think it's close, but I probably would lean Pac-12. And I'm just hoping we get back to the Pac-12 after dark with those teams.
Oh, so you want to see some of those games?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're the 9:30, 10 o'clock,
So Boise State, Washington
you guys
State,
are
Boise
sickos
State.
like me, man. I mean, we stay up and watch Utah State and Fresno State all the time.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, there's many a night that has ended for me with the sun setting in Wyoming or the game ending in Wyoming. A late night game in Wyoming.
Yeah. But Boise State against Washington State,
That's a
Boise
fun
State
game.
against Oregon State.
Fun games.
Those are good games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like, you asked somebody the other day, who was it? Who was it that you were talking about? Do you miss the old, it was Pete Obergast, the voice of USC, talking about the old road trips.
He did not like Corvallis.
Yeah, but I like watching games at night in Corvallis or in Pullman.
I do too, because it's the last game of the night, so I'm savoring every minute of it. And there's something about, I can't tell you how many Saturday nights have ended hearing that third down where they do the chainsaw sound.
Yeah.
And the crowd goes, whatever's theirs goes crazy.
I am not a FOMO guy, not nearly like Dunaway, but I'll be watching and you'll see the cutaway to the students and you're like, I'm about to go to bed. I wonder how late they're going to be up.
Oh, that's right. They'll see the sunrise.
Yeah, but remember, it's only 9:30 where they are.
Yeah, it feels so much later. Though.
But that's
like
what I'm thinking, though, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be up a long
They're
time.
playing in the middle of the night.
Listen, we still haven't decided yet on what the playoff format's going to be starting next year. Would you guys be okay if we stuck at 12? If we stuck with the way we got it for this season?
I don't
Why
hate
are we
it.
fighting? Why are we fighting to move away from what we got happening this season?
Well, I think 16's cleaner. I mean, it is.
There's no buys.
There's no buys. It's more football. It's more money. So I think everybody can digest that. I said it a couple of days ago. Like, I don't like this 70 whatever number when we're talking about college basketball. I think 64 was nice and clean. I think 16 is nice and clean. I don't want to see any more than 16, but I can stomach 16. I think 16 is going to be good.
And it gives your top seeds a chance to play a home game as a top seed. I think that's something that Georgia, you have to help me remember, Georgia, Boise, who were the top seeds? Oregon,
Arizona State.
and Arizona State got robbed of.
Yeah, but they were only the top seeds because of the bidding.
I get that, but
we got rid of that this year, so we sort of fixed that problem for this upcoming year. I think we're going to like it this year.
So you still think, though...
But we're still getting buys.
Yeah, I mean, you still think if you're...
it's the best 4 teams that are getting buys.
Yeah, but they lose a home game. You think... I mean, like Oregon, I agree, and again, all our guests run together. Sometimes, was it Klatt? It was like, Oregon should have played that game in Eugene. Now, I don't know if it turns out any different. Ohio State was a machine in that game.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does, but... I mean, they at least deserve to play in Eugene.
Yeah, I mean, it's closer.
Yeah.
It was a one-possession game when Oregon beat Ohio State earlier that year in Eugene.
And Ohio State just ran out of time. I mean, that's what happened in that game.
Yeah, so I mean, 12 is good. I'm okay with 16. I'm okay with just a clean bracket, but you're saying that number 1 overall seed like Oregon gets a home game. Well, yeah, they do. It's going to be against the 16 seed.
But
which oftentimes is going to be the group of 5 team.
Yeah.
But let's just go, and then
I think you need the first 2 rounds. I think once we go to 16, there will become more of an appetite for the first 2 rounds being on campus, I believe. So now if I'm Oregon, okay, I get that group of 5 team, but I also get the winner of the 8-9 game. So now, last year I'm getting, an Ohio State, Tennessee coming to my place.
So just to let you know, the final AP poll, 17th was Alabama, 18th was Miami, and 19th was South Carolina. The way South Carolina played towards the end of the year with Cam Ward at quarterback at Miami and, Alabama on a good day, any of those teams could have beaten a 1 seed.
That was the final poll after South Carolina had lost, right, to Illinois?
And Alabama had lost.
To Michigan.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we're getting much more balance in college football.
Oh, yeah.
So I do think that, a 16 seed could, be interesting some years, maybe.
We'll get to trash coming up in the next segment. Before you tell us about Michelson laser vision, I do want to point out that SGA, Shane Gilchrist-Alexander, is about to sign a $76 million extension. $76 million. But this week, Cristiano Ronaldo, who is at the end of his career.
It's $76 million a year we're talking about.
$76 million over 4 years.
Over 4 years, okay. Because you were about to compare him to Ronaldo, so I was about to say.
Well, Devin Booker's about to get $75 million a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Cristiano Ronaldo, who's at the end of his career, has just signed a contract that's going to pay him $4.7 million a week for 2 years. And he gets 15%. Give me Tyler's a microphone back there. Al Nassir, is that how you say the name of the team?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
He gets 15% ownership, but aside from that, $224 million over 2 years, an added $60 million in sponsorship, a added $52 million signing bonus, and he gets $110,000 for every goal he scores.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this.
My gosh.
Obviously,
I would be firing every chance I got, wouldn't you?
The popularity of soccer over in Europe is massive, but how much of this is television? Is the majority of this television?
With him, I think it's marketing. Is Al Nassir? I'm gonna check and see if it's one of those Dubai teams again.
My daughter owns a Ronaldo jersey.
Yeah,
this is crazy. If you even here in Birmingham, you would not call this a soccer hotbed, right?
No, not at all.
You go like to one of these places where they jump on trampolines, or you go to your kid's school for lunch. The number of Messi and Ronaldo jerseys, I think, would shock you.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, by the way, is where this team is.
Yeah, I mean it's the
got a lot of money there.
Now I don't know how much of this is licensed gear. Like I think you're getting a lot of unlicensed gear, but the licensed gear that they sell for Ronaldo and Messi jerseys is outrageous. There is no telling what kind of money they pull down on merch sales on that.
Yeah, so it's good to be him though. $4.7 million a week.
It's not bad.
I'll take it.
What would you do?
Well, I would say I wouldn't work, but you got to do it for the 4.7.
Wouldn't work long.
I wouldn't work long. Yeah, and I'd do a lot.
Yeah. Hard to go get your practice in.
I mean, that's money that's impossible to spend.
You get to spend $4.7 million every week.
I'd say and
it just fills back up on Sunday night.
We had to go pick up a birthday present last week, and we were in downtown Homewood and went into this, and I love candles, but I never realized how expensive candles can be. But when we were shopping for candles, there was an $800 candle at a store in downtown Homewood, and I'm like, damn, that's an expensive-ass candle.
Yeah, there's zero reason to buy an $800 candle.
Well, unless you make $4 million a week.
I mean, I guess
it was a badass-looking candle, I'll tell you that.
What made it badass looking?
It was in a hand glass, hand-blown glass.
Well, the candle itself wasn't. It was like
the candle's wax.
It's a candle,
It smelled good, but
right.
I'm just saying, like, the look of it would be cool if I just had $800 to blow on a candle. But that's the kind of shit you could do if you made $4 million a week.
I mean, even the infamous Gwyneth Paltrow candle, it only costs like $40-$50, right?
I think it was like 80 to 100, but obviously that was more of a gimmick.
Yeah.
But this,
that wasn't real?
No. This burns for 800 hours, I will say that. I know way too much about this candle now, and I will never buy this candle.
It's $1 an hour.
But they came up, because when I was looking at it, it looked so serious. They're like, that thing burns for 800 hours. And I'm like, that's a long time.
You got one that burns for 30 hours?
No, you catch me in Winn-Dixie, I'll buy one of them $12 cherry blossom candles. But
if we're paying for a dollar for every hour burned, give me something in the 30-hour range.
You don't got any candles on clearance by chance?
Yeah. All right, when we come back, we'll do trash and some other stuff. The show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama way back in 1995. Make the phone call that I made over 20 years ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. Located conveniently, UAB Highlands. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
All right, this hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. We tell you all the time to go by and see Sterling and the crew, as I always like to remind you. If you got somebody from north of the Mason-Dixon line who's happening to spend a weekend with you, family members or something, this is a great location to take them to where they can try some great southern sides and the southern fried chicken brined overnight, or maybe one of their unique po' boys that they've got there, or the best recipe tamale there is, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamale. Got a little heat in it, just full of flavor. It's all right there, one location, champyschicken.com. And our friends at Hemp Hill, man, we're kicking into the low 90s today after some high 90s during the week. Air conditioning now becomes a necessity.
Yeah, make sure that AC is ready to keep up with this changing weather. Gotta have it. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train. Tell them the next round sent you. Whether you experience any of these issues, plumbing, heating, or cooling in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Aaron Rodgers says that he is confident that the Steelers will get a deal done with T.J. Watt. I mean, you almost have to get this done, right?
I like that Rodgers. He's been officially with him 2 weeks, and he's already making statements on behalf of the team. Oh, I'm confident we can get a deal done with T.J. Watt. Like, we literally just got your deal done.
But if we're going to pay him, surely we got to pay. Probably more important to pay T.J. Watt than it is Aaron Rodgers.
Do you feel like an Aaron Rodgers move, if you're the Steelers, means I've got to be all in this year, like whatever it takes, I've just got to do all these deals?
Yeah.
I mean, why get Aaron Rodgers? Why go to all that trouble if you're not going to do something like that, right?
That's right. Why not do a rebuild?
So they're almost like they're almost in 100% win now territory. Win now or we rebuild, I guess. I mean, you don't ever think of Pittsburgh that way.
You know, I would assume that Pittsburgh will be drafting quarterback coming up. I know
if he's only going to play 1 year, you got to.
Yeah, I know Will Howard is there now, but I don't see him being the future of the Steelers.
Yeah. Listen, the Braves lose again last night, so they end up splitting with the Mets. So they basically gained no ground from 11 to 10 games behind the Mets, who are back in first. A half game behind them are the Phillies. And now here come the Phillies. What a great opportunity it had been if the Braves had gone on a big win streak this week. But they end up splitting with the Mets. Now they get the Phillies in town. I hate to talk about my teams. I really do. But no budget, no stadium. Tampa Bay playing in the same division with the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and the Orioles are now 46-35 and a half game behind the New York Yankees. A half game behind the New York Yankees.
It's remarkable.
How that organization stays competitive is mind-boggling.
When's the last time y'all have just been really bad? Like you've never
the owner before this, 2006 probably.
So it's been that long.
To tell you
since you've been like Rockies, White Sox bad.
Oh, it's before. I think was it 2008 we made it to the World Series with the Phillies
against Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Cole Hamill.
It was pre-Evan Longoria, who's now retired.
That's the last time y'all
we were just
been bad.
Yeah, to me, Milwaukee's kind of that team in the National League that does.
But they spend more money.
They
got
do.
More money.
I mean, it's not, it's close though.
Yeah, but it's a fascinating way that they've gotten to do business. Is they develop one star.
Yep.
Trade him to somebody like the Dodgers.
Get a bunch of pieces.
Or the Yankees and get 3 pieces back, and then one of those hit.
Yep.
And then he plays for 3 or 4 years. They trade them and get 3 pieces back, and one of those hits, and it's a cycle that churns in and out.
Yeah, do y'all trade a lot of guys before they get a free agency? Is that kind of what you do? Yeah. So you never lose the value.
That's right. Or they signed them to the first contract like they did in Longoria and a couple of them. It's amazing how they were able to do this and to stay competitive. When I was I remember I used to just want them to be battling to be 500 That was always the
You
goal.
used to say, give me the football season.
Give me the football season.
That's
but I was cheering for a while for their first 500 season.
Yeah.
And that's when they got good. They went instantly from never being 500 to being now a perennial playoff contender.
You're just consistently such a good franchise with everything stacked against you. You don't even have a stadium. When you did have a stadium, it was the worst stadium in baseball.
Yep.
You don't have any money. You don't have any real fan support unless Boston or New York is in town.
Yeah, I will tell you, I almost did this the other day. In the length of our show, the success the Lightning, the Bucks, and the Rays have had since we started doing this in 2010 has been pretty amazing.
It really has been.
Yeah.
You've probably, Lance has won a Super Bowl since we started doing
I've won
this.
one.
You've won one. 2 Super Bowls they've been to, won. Lakers have won a championship. Dodgers have won multiple championships.
Yeah. Rays have been to 2 World Series.
The Bucks have won 2 Super Bowls.
The Bucks have won 1 Super Bowl since we've been doing the show and one before.
Okay. And the Lightning?
Lightning's won 3 Stanley Cups maybe.
Yeah.
We don't have an NBA team.
Meanwhile, I got
the Knicks, I guess. I adopted them.
Yeah, meanwhile, I got the Dolphins.
Yeah. That's how I got on the subject. I was like, God, I've had so much success. And the Browns, poor Dolphins. No success.
It is sad, man. I mean, once such a good franchise. And, Lance, I used to get pissed at Lance. He'd be like, Brown, I don't think you're ever going to live to see a championship.
I don't think you are.
I know. Let's go ahead and restate that. But, I mean, the older I get.
Your coach is number 2 on the hot seat.
I know it. He should be there.
My guy yesterday, Bulls got a contract extension.
I know.
As long as the GM did too. As long as Light got the extension, I'm good.
But what really pisses me off about that is not Lance. It's that Lance is right. Is like the fact that there is a chance I never see my team win a championship.
It's such a weird thing because, you look at, I don't think we're going to see Buffalo as good as they are.
That's so hard to believe.
And there's teams like the Chargers that never have. And, that's a really good organization right now. But, not to jinx this because I said I only wanted one more. I think the Rams under Sean McVay, if he's there another 5 years, are going to win another one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I used to think, I would always say, boy, when the Dolphins make the Super Bowl, do I go? Do I stay home and watch it by myself? What do I do? I mean, my gosh, it's just so – it feels so remote right now that they'll do it. It really does.
Well, the Vikings have never done it. Detroit's never done it as good as they are. The Cowboys haven't done it in 30 years.
I just want to go. I mean, I want to win it when I get there, but just to see the Dolphins win the AFC again.
San Fran hasn't won one in 30 years.
I've seen it once in my lifetime, Milton.
You're not an overly emotional person, but
I don't know how I'd react.
If you're seeing that confetti fall and you're in person, I mean, are the tears flowing?
I've thought about this before because I know where I would watch the AFC Championship game right there in my room where I watch college football and all the other Dolphins games. And I've tried to, this sounds sad, but it's true. I've tried to envision that moment, Melton. Would I cry? Would I jump up and down and celebrate? I mean, what would I do? Just winning the AFC Championship and going to the Super Bowl. And I don't know. I don't know how I would react. I am not an overly emotional person, but
I've got a picture. Maggie snapped a picture of me.
This is not staged.
It
this
was
is
not
real.
staged. She snapped a picture of me that I didn't know. Ironically, she'd walked down near the end because it was during the pandemic, and I was watching from home.
She didn't watch a game with you?
She wasn't. I didn't really want her down there to watch the game because I get loud and everything. I mean, not you're loud, but I get loud.
I've seen Lance watch a Rams game.
But I sadly said at the 2-minute warning, I was like, listen, I know this is weird, but will you come down here? I don't want to be by myself as they win this. And she's like, are they about to win, really? And I said, yep, they're about to win. And she came downstairs and she snapped a picture. And as it ticked down, I mean, it was obvious we were going to win at that point. I just, in disbelief, my arms are out like this when she snaps the picture.
Yeah.
And I am. I'm tearing up and crying. And you're a bigger Dolphins fan than I am, bigger Rams fan than I am a Buccaneer fan. But I was emotional.
Like,
we bought that one with Brady.
Yeah, and some of it is the nature in which the game ends. Like, I've thought about this, Melton. Like, if it's a game-winning field goal that Jason Sanders hits to send us to the Super Bowl, I mean, that's going to elicit a different emotion than just like you're up 10 as the clock runs out, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, both championships the Rams have got was on a final play.
Oh, wow.
And the only time I got emotional was when the Rams beat Tampa in that divisional game, just because it was so draining emotionally because they were up, double digits. Tampa comes back, has all the momentum, ties it up. It looks like it's going to overtime, and then Matt Gay walks it off. That was the only time I really got emotional.
Yeah, so Dylan wants me to rank my order in which I would cry of these. Dolphin Super Bowl, wedding of one of my 2 daughters, or Jim's funeral.
It's easy. I'll go AK's wedding,
Oh, I got 2 daughters now.
Yeah, either one of them.
Okay.
Both their weddings. But
Okay.
I thought we were going first daughter
Anna
married.
Kate will get married first in theory.
Yeah,
Yes.
AK's wedding. You don't think you'll get emotional? You will. Then it'll be the Dolphins, and then my funeral. We may not even know each other by the time I die. I plan on living a long time, man.
What am I gonna? I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm not gonna remember a guy I worked with for 30 years.
A third of your life, man.
A third of my life.
Before we get to trash, here are the 5 worst teams' license plates here in the SEC. This is shout out Connor from College Football Reddit. You know what I'm talking about? Like you can be in a state, but you cheer for a different team, and it just doesn't look right? Number 5 on this list is an Alabama tag when you're an LSU fan.
Yeah, I've seen these. It does look odd.
It's a bad look. LSU, but Alabama at the top. They get worse. Number 4 on this list is a Tennessee tag if you're a Florida fan, right? Next one up.
Oh,
it's a good-looking tag.
Well, it's at least got all the Florida colors, though.
Good-looking tag, but it's a Tennessee tag when you're a Florida fan.
Looks different.
Yep.
In Florida, a Florida tag when you're a Georgia fan.
Oh, that looks...
Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird. Like, I like that the Alabama tag was like, we'll just put a very small LSU box. Everybody else is going color scheme.
The second worst of them all is if you're in the state of Tennessee and you're an
weird.
Alabama fan. I mean, you're repping the Tide up there. That looks better than the Alabama tags in Alabama.
I kind of agree.
That car's getting keyed more than likely.
All the time, right? All
For
the
15
time.
years it was.
And the weirdest one of them all is the Georgia tag if you're an Auburn fan.
Oh, that is bizarre, yeah.
It's a good-looking tag there. That's from Connor on College Football Reddit there. Send us any more that you find over the weekend. If you're heading out on this Independence Day next 10 days, traveling and stuff, and you play the tag game, keep an eye out for those weird SEC college football tags. On the way to trash, brought to you by Storm Restoration Roofing. Our buddy Greg from Pell City is there to help you anytime you've got a roof problem, storm damage. He's got his builder's license. He can help you repair that. Greg from Pell City, a good way to contact him on Facebook, or you can text him or call him at this number, 205-542-3531. Any storm damage, he can take care of it for you. Great relationships with the insurance providers. He's been doing this locally for over 20 years. That helps him out tremendously as far as getting you the maximum coverage from your insurance. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, and he gives you a free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Gets you every
So
time.
I remember watching it live, and I was like, oh, that was absolutely incredible. I rewound it like 3 or 4 times, laughed every time.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. If you're heading out of town this weekend, whether it's the lake or the beach, pick up some cold, delicious Bud Light. Legendary Entertainment's upcoming film adaptation of Street Fighter, based on the long-running fighting game franchise, has picked up a pretty weird cast for itself in recent weeks. Now, Jason Momoa is going to be in this. Also, Roman Reigns is going to be in it. But how about this? 50 Cent has signed on to the project. He's going to be playing disgraced boxer Balrog. 50 Cent is no stranger to action movies, having popped up periodically in low-budget movies for years. Still, the idea of him going toe-to-toe with a guy like Jason Momoa seems a little weird. But they said he's, quote, deep into training for the part, will be doing his own stunts for the picture as well.
I like that. I admired that.
The last time I saw 50 Cent was in that Super Bowl, and everybody was saying, I think 50 Cent's a full $1 now.
Yeah, he was.
He was thick.
Yeah, he'll
Super
need to
Bowl.
get in shape, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to burn some off. Now, that was a few Super Bowls ago.
Was he hanging upside down?
He was hanging upside down, and it looked like he was struggling to do so, Melton.
Yeah, and those poor things holding him. You're like, man, that thing's going to bust. But, 50 Cent in his heyday, when we first saw him, in the club, I mean, he was ripped up.
No doubt. I'm sure he could get back to that. It just seemed like maybe he had been skipping gym day.
So a lifeguard was impaled by a beach umbrella on Wednesday morning, according to officials.
Those things can start blowing, man, when that wind picks up.
Yeah.
Now, officials believe the lifeguard took a tumble off the lifeguard chair as she was trying to set the large chair umbrella into place. Quote, it was just a freak thing as she was putting it in. The gust caught it, pulled it up, So when she grabbed it, she went off balance. She was on the top step of the bench. She fell backwards off the bench, and the umbrella came up with her when she came down and landed on her arm, according to another lifeguard. Now, the umbrella went through the woman's armpit and came out of her back. About a 1-inch in diameter aluminum umbrella pole.
How sharp is
which
that?
Went into her left armpit and came out her back right near the scapula, according to the fire department. Now, the victim, 19 or 20 years old, was conscious, alert. Throughout the incident, lifeguards provided first aid before the fire department and EMS arrived. Now, firefighters cut most of the pole away, but secured about a foot-long section that had been embedded in the arm before she could go to the hospital. It is the victim's second year as a lifeguard, never lost consciousness after the accident, and her colleague says she's tiny, but she's strong.
Yeah.
And can you imagine how much that hurt?
I mean, right through. If it'd been on the other side. Hey, is it strangely fascinating for you guys to watch the chair service people put all that out in the morning? Like if you're sitting back out behind, outside your condo there overlooking the ocean, because they do it pretty early in the morning.
Dudes are so tan, and they're usually in good shape because they're working their asses off.
Yeah, but it is a lot of work to do that chair service setup.
Yeah, I like the little drill they have to put the hole in.
And they they got it down to an art too, man.
Think about it, they used to not have that drill.
Oh, I know. They would have to rock that umbrella back and forth to get it down in there.
So, Florida woman facing a long list of charges after she allegedly attacked and then tried to bite a man, ran away, and then crashed into a deputy's car. Investigators with the Polk County Sheriff's Office said 37-year-old Samantha Coulter of Lakeland showed up at a man's property, climbed over his chain-link fence, and attacked him, even trying to bite him. She then fled the scene. A short time later, deputies said the man left the property to get food, but received a phone call from someone saying that Coulter had returned. The caller also said Coulter had used her car to crash through the man's fence before fleeing again. Officials found Coulter's white 2017 Cadillac, attempted to stop her. Relative of Coulter's had also arrived at the scene and yelled for her to get out of the car, to which Coulter replied, quote, "Why? This is fun." Authorities say Coulter then tried to drive through a ditch to get past a deputy's car. When that was unsuccessful, she allegedly intentionally backed into another deputy's car and sped away. Her car was blocked in again at the West Caribbean restaurant. Deputies say she refused to get out of the car. Coulter was able to finally gets out of the car, into a deputy's car. She was able to get out of the handcuffs, so authorities pulled her out of the deputy's car, re-handcuffed her, and put her back into a patrol car. Officials say no deputies were injured during the incident. One patrol car was damaged, and the car Coulter was driving, which was her grandmother's, was also damaged. She was booked on a slew of charges.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, I bet she's tough in a breakup.
Oh, you think?
I don't know if I was just thinking Samantha Coulter. I thought of Matt Coulter. I don't know if I've ever known another Coulter in my life other than
Alan. Oh, that was Cutler.
That was Cutler. Yeah. I've actually known a couple of Cutlers.
Yeah. So another Coulter other than Matt.
I don't know if I know another Coulter in my life.
Don't know that I do either. I saw. You remember?
Seems like it should be a common name, but I don't know of another.
You remember? I think Vestavia, Auburn, Yankees pitcher Coulter Bean.
But that's Coulter.
I know,
Bean.
but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
him at a golf course recently.
Yeah.
Guys back here in town. Had a good career.
He did.
This is completely irrelevant to our discussion.
I thought it was Colton Bean. Was it Coulter?
Coulter Bean.
Okay.
And Coulter.
And Coulter. But that's the other one, Ann Coulter. Does she spell it the same way, or is she Colter?
I don't know.
I watched, had an hour and 30 minutes last night, watched the Barbara Walters documentary.
Oh, documentary about her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not realize early in her career how...
Ann Coulter spells her name the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go, Ann Coulter. Thank you. Just the interviews that she got early on when that's what she was doing. Like when the Egypt Prime Minister Sadat was going to actually Tel Aviv to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister, she comes running up on the runway as the Sadat's getting on his plane. And he's like, Barbara, come fly with me. And she gets on the plane and flies from Egypt to Tel Aviv with him and does an interview with each of them separately. And then they said, let's do it with Barbara together. And they sat down together, and she asked him point blank, like, would you ever give up Arab-controlled land to help get peace with Israel? Barbara, why do you have to ask me these questions in this kind of setting? And he goes, yeah, there's room for it. And
So she almost broke her piece.
There. Barbara Walters
That'd have
was
been
doing
big.
that. It was crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Did it have the
The documentary wasn't as good as it could have been.
Sean Connery interview with her?
That was what was bad with.
That was an awkward moment.
Yeah, that's what was bad. Tell me what that awkward moment was. That took away from the thing. I wanted to see basically just highlight reels.
It was
of
something
her interviews.
like. Have you guys seen that? It's like you've been on record before saying sometimes a woman needs to be put in her place and hit. Would you do this with your wife? And he's like, if she deserved it.
Sean Connery said that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
But he doubles down like she keeps pressing, and he's just laughing.
It did have the Mike Tyson Robin Givens interview where she asked Robin, has he ever hit you? And, well, he shakes me and pushes me around, blah, 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 blah. But after the night that aired on national television, she gets put in the hospital because he threw her out a window and beat her up after the interview.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and he gets arrested. Yeah.
I mean,
she's so small. I ran into her when we were working at Cumulus.
Barbara Walters or Robin Gibbons?
Okay. Both are probably small, but Robin Gibbons really, really small.
Really?
Both of y'all's stories shaken, not stirred.
Wow. I got it. Sean Connery. I got it.
North Korea opening a beach resort that its leader, Kim Jong-un, hopes will boost tourism in a secretive communist regime, according to state reports.
Book me.
Wonsan Kalma on the East Coast will open to domestic tourists on July 1st, 6 years after it was due to be completed. It is unclear when it will welcome foreigners. Now, Kim grew up in the luxury in Wonsan, where many of the country's elite have private villas, and has been trying to transform the town which once hosted a missile testing site.
Yeah.
Now, state media claims the resort can accommodate up to 20,000 visitors, occupying a 2.5-mile stretch of beaches with hotels, restaurants, shopping malls, and a water park, none of which can be verified.
How loud is that beach, though? I mean, you've got an airport like basically a block over from the beach. I mean,
if you've ever been to Montego Bay.
Is that the one where the plane flies right over you?
Oh, yeah. I never stayed there, but just going in and seeing the planes take off right over the beach, I don't know how you would relax.
I mean, you guys haven't seen the sticker on my car, 38th Parallel A sticker?
That's actually not bad, Jay.
I don't think
Dictator life?
Don't think this is going to be big.
Dictator life.
Got a little soccer field thrown in there.
I do. I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah,
I
sure.
just
walk up from the beach and have a nice lunch at Missile Gully.
That was one too far.
Not too far from Red China Bar.
That's all I got.
Did they open that joint? They rebuilt that joint, didn't they?
Red Bar.
Yeah, it burned. The original burned.
Is it still cash only?
I don't know. It's a good spot. I liked Red Bar. Did y'all like it?
I did too.
I did. Yeah, I've been a couple of times. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's a good place.
To show you the wormhole you can get into sometimes. Who was the player on the Fever that defended Caitlin Clark that is known for dressing very fashionably, walking into games? And she's blonde, tall.
I do not know.
A lot of legs.
Cunningham.
Yeah, I think it's her name. Yeah. And she finally took up for her after she got poked in the eye and all of that. And so her jersey sales have gone through the roof.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at her like on social media, she looks completely different than she looks in uniform.
That's right.
Yeah, you're like, oh, damn, she's
glammed up. And yeah. So I said, let me follow her on Instagram and see what she's about. Well, of course, old feeds feed into you when you first follow somebody.
They said old feet.
And then all of a sudden it's like her and a group of girls are
at the beach?
Are at the beach together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and
where's this going to go?
It's like, what's the name of that other end of 38 called? Is it Blue Coast? What is it?
Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain Beach.
It said Blue Mountain Beach. And I was like,
really?
So
I don't have plans this weekend.
Sophia Cunningham. This summer, before the WNBA
Went
started,
to Blue Mountain Beach?
They're at the other end of 38, Blue Mountain Beach.
How about that?
Now, dear Red
The
Bar,
only thing that would jump out is you're like, damn, she's tall.
Yeah, exactly. And I looked at her, I was like,
yeah,
you could find 30 people better looking than her at the Floribama.
Not taller.
Not taller.
We're starting a basketball team at the Bama.
Steve Powers.
She's pick one.
All right. Hey, if you're in the Floribama neighborhood, go by and find our stickers and tell them we said hi there this weekend. All right, we're back with you next week, Monday and Tuesday only live shows. Monday and Tuesday. We are off, as we hope you guys are, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to celebrate the birth of our nation, Independence Weekend. But we're back with you Monday and Tuesday live. Don't forget a new Meltdown today at 2 o'clock. Thanks for being with us this week. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.